All right, peace and love to you all. High vibrations, beautiful souls, and all that good stuff. Tonight, I will be going over some of the energies that are present that we're dealing with in the cosmos. Kind of can help you make sense out of some of these experiences that we could be experiencing now, even some physical things that you might be going through, especially for those of us who are experiencing like our spiritual journeys and all that type of stuff. Even if you're not on your so-called spiritual journey, I'm pretty sure that you will be able to relate to a lot of this information that is displayed to you tonight. So if you're not familiar with astrological things or zodiac signs or whatever the case may be, tonight you will learn something about really begin to and about how to really begin to believe, read those things from a different place of seeing how relatable they are to you. All right. So tonight I will be talking about the seven planets that are visible. We will also be talking about the new moon energy, which is in Aquarius as well. And we will also be going over some of the things that are associated with the influence that are going on tonight. So hopefully, you all will leave her more enlightened, more aware of certain things that you may actually be actually feeling. I just want to help you bring some type of logical explanation to it. To me, that's the power of astrology. That's the power of knowing the language of the stars. It helps us bring heaven to earth. And as somebody who's done over 4,000 readings, somebody who's dealt with people and helping them awaken and see themselves in different ways, I can literally say that this is a science. This is not something that what I would say people like to say pseudo or whatever the case may be. There's a reason why you do the things you do. There's a reason why you feel the things you feel. There's a reason why you have the influences on your life that you do. There's a reason why we repeat the cycles or go through the cycles that we go through in this life. So tonight, hopefully I'll help you get a better understanding on where you are in your life at this point in 2025 as we dive deeper into what's going on in the cosmos from a Sensei 9 perspective. All right. When I deal with astrology and astronomy and certain tools of divination, you're dealing with different perspectives. To me, I don't deal with somebody being right or wrong. But one thing I do want to make sure of is that you understand the mechanics of how these things work out. That way, your intuition begins to thrive from a different place of a new understanding. Even in the scripture, it says, lean out on your own understanding. All right. So we're going in tonight. So first of all, I want to welcome you all, tell you all I appreciate you all being here for your time and energy. And I will also be, there will be a PDF that I will be going over tonight. And if you want to purchase the PDF just for you all being here, the PDF is going to be available, all right, for $22, okay, for your purchase if you want to get it. All right, the PDF that I'll be going over tonight, just for $22, is kind of a way for you to donate to the time and the energy and the effort that I put into this information. So the PDF will be available for $22 if you want to purchase that, and it'll be something that you can keep with you. It'll be something you can reference to. And it'll be something that you can also look back on and help you remember or retain some of this information that I could be talking about tonight. So once again, if you want to purchase the PDF, it will be $22. There's a link that will be attached to the email that you can click to purchase the PDF, and it will be emailed out to you, and then you can have it to your personal use. All right, print it out, make it into a book, do what you want to do with it, and the PDF will be available on Amazon after we're done, but it's going to be double the price for what it is tonight. So just for your all time and energy for being here, all right, the price is $22 for you all. But once again, after the workshop, the price of the PDF will not be $22 anymore. So if you want to purchase it tonight, make sure you click that link and get the PDF tonight, the one that I'll be speaking over. All right. And also the replay will be available on YouTube. And those of you who do join tonight, you will get the replay sent to your email as well. So once again, gratitude for y'all time and y'all energy. And now let me get into sharing this screen so I can get into it. That's from my old workshop. Boom. Here we go. Now, can everybody see my screen pretty good?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, we
Peace,
straight
Tony.
like that.
Peace.
Hey, beloved. All right, y'all.
Yeah.
So tonight we're going to talk about, as you can see, there's a beautiful, beautiful visualization of the planetary influences that are at play right now, especially going on with these planets that are surrounding it. And what makes this event so rare with the visible planets is because when you deal with the movement of the sun and the earth, and if anybody believes in flat earth, you might think I'm talking out the side of my neck right now. But when you deal with the rotation and the gravitational pull and also the axis of the Earth, the reason why we're able to see these visible planets in alignment where they're not just, they could be clustered, but the alignment of it just deals with the sun and the Earth being in alignment with each other and with these planets being visible by the sun's rays and the illumination of that and the shadow effect that we can be having from the Earth's tilt. All right. So a lot of times we can look at these cycles of the planets from different ways, and at different times of the year you can see different planets. At different times of the month you can see different aspects. This has a lot to do with why we have a fixed constellation above us, and we know that the Earth is rotating underneath the stars per se. All right. So the constellations do not change. They have not changed throughout millennia. That is one thing about these constellations, right? Pisces has always been where Pisces is. Leo has always been where Leo is. Aries has always been where Aries is. There's a reason why you could always look up and find these constellations. Now, when you deal with the aspect of your birth chart, for those of you who are not familiar with birth charts, your birth chart is something that is privy and unique to you. Nobody in this world, nobody in this life will ever have the same birth chart as you because no one came out of the womb of their mother at the same time you did. Even if you were a twin, y'all birth times are different. The time you come out of your mother's womb and the actual time that you breathe breath into your body activates your birth chart. The position of the planets at the time when you take that breath, when your body oxidizes, when your body becomes ionized, because now your blue blood isn't going to be united with red blood because you were amphibious in the womb of the mother. From her waters you came, right? So when you're talking about the bowels may break and the aspects of creation, all of us came from the womb of a woman, in which we know can be dealing with the seed of the man. And when we know with the aspects of conception and also going through a gestation, everybody has to come through this reality through a mother. Because of that, it is only because of the menstrual cycles of the woman and the cycles of the moon that we know life on this planet. It is only through her womb, only through her mothership. So your mama is a mothership. The woman, the vessel of the mother is a mothership. So that mothership is able to encompass all of the planetary energies, harness those, give you a body, which is comprised of planetary forces. And those forces can be created, or I would say connected to memory. So there's a reason why you have memory. There's a reason why you grow up the way you do. There's a reason why everything you eat becomes you. If you think that there's not forces at play and you just equate it to something that you just believe in, astrology can give you the science of what that means. Because each zodiac sign, each planet rules what's called a cell salt. Those salts include what we call is the periodic table. These minerals are what make us up when we deal with the soil of the earth. So from the earth your body came, to the earth your body shall return. So we're all comprised of different elements, and all these different forces of nature came together at one time to create your life. So you are a magical being walking this planet as a manifestation. And this is why we are ye are gods. This is not saying you are the God that created the sun, the moon, and the stars. But if you deal with a dog, if you deal with a plant, if you deal with a cat, you will say a dog that came from a dog is a dog. A horse that came from a horse is a horse, right? If we supposed to be made in the image and the likeness of God, that means that you are in the image and made in the likeness of God. That means you have dominion over your life. That means you have the power to manifest, the power to create, the power to control, the power to destroy. It's just all on how you utilize and yield that power. This is what makes us the becoming of human beings. All right. So that's I just want to give y'all my perspective for those of you who might be new to what I do and who I am. All right. I do deal with astrology and numerology. I'm a herbalist as well. I deal with a lot of healing, children, families, dynamics. It don't make a difference. We all have been through some things in this reality, and now we're in the place of at the age of information, which is going to open us up to the many doors of knowledge. All right. Knowledge is just an accumulation of shit that you can acquire, I would say. Knowledge applied is wisdom. Wisdom is power. So I deal with a lot of applied knowledge. And when you deal with astrology, numerology, cardiology, all these different tools of divination, these are applied sciences. Okay. So I'll be talking to you tonight about how some of these sciences can be equated to cycles and how you can look back at certain times and you can notice patterns when you deal with astrology. When you deal with astrology, it is the mechanics of your life. I like to say numerology is the source code to your life. Cardiology can lay out a roadmap of your life. All right. So there's many different tools of divination. You have Vedic astrology. You got so many different aspects. But tonight I'll be talking from a tropical or Western philosophy. All right. Because to me, we in the West. All right. So Western philosophy is what we're under. It's the time construct that we're under. So you might as well know how to use these times that you're under. Because if you don't use time, you become a victim of it. All right. And all you got in this
Peace.
reality is time. Who was that? Peace.
Peace. Did you say that you put the link for the PDF in the Zoom chat, or which chat was it put in?
It might be in your email.
Oh, it's in the email. Okay.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
check the email at the bottom of the email, there is a link to purchase the PDF. So for those of you who did not make sure, I wanted to tell you that the PDF, if you scroll to the bottom of your email, you will see a link to purchase the PDF, and it's for $22 if you want to get this PDF for your future references. All right. Now, the new moon in Aquarius and its impact on humanity and the spiritual influences. The new moon in Aquarius represents a time of innovation, collective consciousness, and revolutionary thinking. The inner rebel, Aquarius, ruled by Uranus and Saturn in traditional astrology, is associated with the intellectual advancement of humanitarian efforts and breaking free from outdated systems. Spiritually, this new moon encourages individuality and promoting unity within humanity. Now, some of the themes around this, because now, as you see this, this is promoting unity, individuality while promoting unity within humanity. Now, I have to pause on this because, we think about unifying, and a lot of times we have been taught that we have to sacrifice something in order to unify, which requires that. Don't get, and I'm not going to discredit the power of you have to be willing to drop something in order to integrate into anything. But that's going to be damn well hard to do when you don't know who you are as an individual. So your individuality is very key into how you integrate into humanity. Because if you're not unified within yourself, we've seen what happened when you try to create with people who are divided within their own thoughts, within their own emotions, within their own trust issues. You can't trust people who don't trust themselves, right? So this is the individual aspects that we're moving into. And this is why Aquarius don't play with their time and their energy. Any Aquarius is in here, they will tell you they don't like people, they introverted. So this that introverted part of us. And ain't that they don't like people, they just don't like putting up with people's stuff, right? So when you're talking about promoting unity within humanity, a lot of times they promote it while saying, I don't have to be with y'all, right? So when you're talking about being with somebody, and actually getting involved with sympathy and empathy, because do I have to actually care to create with you? Do I actually have to? Yes, right? Because in this construct, you don't want to deal with nobody who doesn't care about your well-being, right? So that's who the people you want to unify with are the people who actually care about you, not the people who care about what you can do for them. I know we've all had our experiences with that type of energy, right? Now, the things of this new moon is going to be around innovation and encourages new, bold ideas and forward thinking resolutions, spiritual awakening, right? Uranus is the planet of the awakener, and this rules Aquarius. So it's a time to embrace unconventional spiritual practices and explore higher consciousness because, to me, my Uranus is in Scorpio in the 12th house, and I'll tell you why what that means. Scorpio deals with, of course, secrecy and occult knowledge, and the 12th house is spirituality, and it's also self-sabotage, self-undoing, escapism, all that good stuff, right? And it's also transformation when you bring in the power of Scorpio. So the transformational things that I went through were around death, right? Scorpionic energy. But when I look at spirituality and I look at the way people do this, even at the way in the spiritual community and how we can break free from religious mindsets, and now we come into a spiritual community per se, Aquarian energy, and they still are operating in some type of religious mindset, saying you have to be a certain way in order to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I deal with you just gotta be you, right? Nobody is, when you talking about breaking the mold, who created that? So who even created a mold around spirituality? Who even said that there's a definition around how you gotta be spiritual? So to me, there is no definition to your spirituality. You can't look at somebody's actions and judge how spiritual they are. You see this in movies all the time. You will see a bunch of cold-hearted killers and they have an altar. You'll see people like John Wick going to go pray. So it's just they show you this stuff in movies to show you that you can't always determine because you might deem somebody as a bad person. They might not be in tune spiritually. All right. So when you're dealing with the higher consciousness, this doesn't deal in separation. So humanitarian focuses inspires collective efforts for the betterment of society, breaking free from liberation, breaking free liberation from limiting beliefs, traditions, and the illusions of inclusion and structures. That illusion of inclusion, trying to do everything to get along, going along to get along. And Aquarius deals with high school as well, and it also deals with stepdaddies and stepmamas and things like that, right? So a lot of times, even in this, thinking about how we've done a lot of things to get along with people, done a lot of things just to be a part of the crowd. I mean, we all done grew up. If some people may not have found themselves doing that, that means you might not have a lot of Aquarius heavy energy in your life. But when you're talking about dropping a part of you to go along with the crowd, you watch people become chameleons. I know we all have watched people just change when they get around a crowd of people. Now, Aquarian energy deals with a lot about being awkward in one-on-one situations, but good in crowds. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of times your wordness wants to translate even into a situation where you're around a lot of people. And if you pay attention, if you start doing anything weird in a situation where a lot of people are going one way, eventually everybody follows the word energy. Let's think about it. Everybody, you see, if you start dancing out of nowhere, somebody gonna look at you. You might look like a fool when you're doing it by yourself, but when somebody else joins in, they like it's okay. It's two people doing it now. It's three people doing it, and before you know it, we got a wave. So this is how humanity can catch on to a wave, all right, when it comes to wanting to liberate themselves from something. And also you'll see how the times that we're in can deal heavily within this energy of liberation and breaking free from structures and all this good stuff. Community building is also going to be an emphasis on this time right now. Strengthening your connection with like-minded individuals. Aquarius is all about community. And this ain't just a time that this moon is going to be activating and ushering us into this age of Aquarian energy and giving us a glimpse off into what it's going to look like with Pluto and Aquarius. All right. So community building with people who you can actually go somewhere with. It's hard to go somewhere with people who you got to think for, who you always got to stop and explain shit to. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to build with people who understand the vision, and you don't have to worry about those people falling off because they have a strong mental mindset, and we all understand that we're here for a reason. All right. So to harness this energy, you want to set intentions around freedom, creativity, and collaboration, not competition. And during Aquarius energy, especially with some of this North Node energy that I speak on this later on, you want to be very mindful of scams right now too. Because a lot of times people do stuff in the name. See, this is when a time when your good intentions can pay the road straight to your hell. So just be mindful of you intending to do something good, and then it's not being well received by the person who you feel like you was doing something good for. All right. So it's a good time to be mindful of you trying to be a good person versus you just being yourself, I would say. So meditating on with the collective energy, envisioning a brighter future, using crystals like amethyst and labradorite to enhance your intuition and visionary thinking. You're going to see I have a lot of crystals throughout this. Crystal technology is about to become more prevalent. You're going to see this happening within this reality. I promise you that. We're going to go back to some of the ancient ways of healing. When you deal with Aquarius, it deals with information and technology. But this is not just any technology. This is also the technology of the body. Now, the mundane influences on the worldly level is going to deal with the new moon in Aquarius can bring breakthroughs in technology, science, and social systems. It is a time when humanity is going to be more open to change and reform. So these societal changes increase focus on technology, renewable energy, and innovation. Social movements aimed at equality and dismantling outdated hierarchies. A lot of people might not like what Trump is doing, but I'm gonna tell you right now, if you pay attention, ain't none of this shit been working anyway. I don't know why everybody mad. Shit ain't been working. You get a few people that benefit from something, and you say that it works. This shit has not been working for a mass humanitarian movement. It just has not. So a lot of these things have to be changed. And if you really pay attention to what's going on, this is dealing with a lot of global collaborations and addressing challenges like climate change and humanitarian rights, human rights and social equality, right? Dismantling outdated hierarchies because a bunch of these things are no longer going to be needed for where we're going as a humanity. Now, whether we like it or not, universal laws are always at play. or you can say God's work is always at play. All right. So this can encourage you to take a break away from routines and embrace change. This can promote creative problem solving and intellectual pursuits. This can push you more into questioning social norms and authoritative structures. Now, the planets that are visible during this time as well are going to be Mars, Venus, Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune, amplifying the spiritual and the mundane significance. And when you're dealing with these aspects of these planetary bodies, this is like when God rested in 7 days, 7 days of the week. You got seven organ systems in your body. You have over you got over seven main chakras, right? So this number seven is going to be prevalent throughout times and throughout ancient history because of the seven visible planets and our ability to use them in the aspect of understanding the story of creation. So you will see a lot of spiritual significance when it comes to Mars, when it comes to all these things, the action and courage, and also when it comes to your drive and your personal empowerment and the courage to take a bold action. So its visibility encourages humanity to confront fears and initiate progress. Mars is also, when they say men are from Mars, women are from Venus. You know what I'm saying? Mars has a lot to do with what the things that piss you off, and also the things that can drive you and compel you and push you forward as well. All right. So just be mindful now. If you understand your birth chart, check your Mars placement as I go through these planets, and if you're familiar with astrology, all right, I want you to think about the influences of your Mars, your placements in association with the planets that I named. If you're not familiar with astrology and you want to learn about your birth chart, you can gladly definitely book a reading, and we'll gladly get you acclimated to understanding these parts of yourself. So that part of your Mars is also your sex drive. It's also your sexual energy, all right, and it's also the energy where you use to take bold action. His Mars being the ruler of Aries and the ancient ruler of Scorpio. Now, when you deal with Mars and activism on a mundane aspect, because Mars deals with Aries and this deals with first offenders. So a lot of people who are Aries can end up doing something like in the public to help out people. You know, this is your firemen, your police department, all this kind of stuff, right? So this energy is going to spark a lot of activism and dynamic energy and inspiring collective action to address social challenges. So just be mindful of this Mars energy, especially with Mars kind of being in Cancer right now, the retrograde energy, and this can be a very sensitive time for people. All right. Now, Venus deals with love and harmony. Venus also is your love language. Venus rules the left side of your brain. Venus deals with your value systems and also the thing that you value, but also how you put an emphasis on love and beauty and harmony. And it always encourages collaboration and diplomacy and healing, especially fractured relationships. Now, on a mundane aspect, it can highlight themes of equality, the arts, financial innovations, because when you deal with Venus, this ruler of Libra and also Taurus, so this is all about fairness and love and justice and reciprocity and truth, right? It's from the ancient energy of Mayat, all right? So this is always about bringing more harmony into situations, but you have to find balance, right? Because without balance, you cannot climb the ladder. So any areas to where you want to be emphasized or focusing on these things in your life, just be mindful of that when you think about the themes around Venus. Saturn is going to deal with a lot with your discipline and responsibility. And when you deal with the spiritual significance of Saturn's energy, it grounds the revolutionary ideas of Aquarius, emphasizing structure and long-term vision. And it reminds humanity to pair freedom with accountability. All right, because Saturn is the reason why I love to say Saturn. When we deal with Saturn, especially with Saturn returns around 29, 27, 30 years old, up in there. Even if you're around 60, 62, you can be experiencing a second Saturn return. Saturn square, Saturn opposition, certain things that when you deal with how Saturn is always opposing something. Because the structure that you meet, Saturn will come along and take all of your toys away when it's time for you to focus on what you need to be focused on, right? So something comes along and grounds you, right? So even with certain Saturn energy, you can witness a lot of jail going on, right? People being displaced, right? People having to really sit down and learn a lesson around structure and long-term vision. So this is going to, humanity, because Saturn rules Capricorn, which rules the judge on the bench. All right. So this is going to call for more reform of systems, particularly government, education, and law. So just be mindful of how we go through. We're already witnessing this anyway. The change in the judicial system, the law. We're witnessing a lot of laws being changed just by the power of the pen. All right. Now, Jupiter expansion, abundance, and spiritual significance. Jupiter amplifies optimism and encourages expansive thinking, making this a time to dream big. You know, you think small, you should be thinking big. You know what I'm saying? So you should be thinking big right now. All right. And Jupiter is all about your optimism. I love to say any messenger, any messiah, anybody that you deal with throughout time that represents an awakening or the leading of a people, right? On a spiritual aspect, Buddha, all these things deals with Jupiterian energy. Your Jesus, your Yahweh, your Muhammad's, right? All these things can represent the energy of Jupiter. Now, on the mundane impact, this promotes global cooperation and breakthroughs in knowledge and philosophy and science. Because Jupiter Sagittarius, which is the ruler, which Jupiter rules, it deals with institutions and also colleges and higher learning. And this is also going to deal with you activating your inner guru. The word guru meaning dispeller of darkness. All Sagittarius energy represents the guru. So I don't know how many Sagittarius we got in here tonight, but as a Sagittarius, you are like a guru, okay? Naturally well versed in philosophy and science, all right? When you deal with Uranus, innovation and awakening, which is the ruler of Aquarius, right? With this represents breakthroughs, rebellion, and awakening of higher consciousness. Now, Uranus and Aquarius also rules miracles. Whenever you hear miracles mentioned in the Bible, this was Aquarius energy. It talked about going to go see the man in the house with water, right? This is Aquarius energy. Water is technology. Water is libations. So your body is 72% water. And this is why Bruce Lee say water flows or it crashes. So encourages humanity to embrace change, particularly in technology, science, and social reform, because Uranus rules over social media and technology. Gemini has an aspect on social media, but how you communicate on it. But the whole reason why you even on an app can deal with the technology of a Uranian type of energy. Now, when you deal with the spiritual significance, when you deal with dreams and Neptune, right? And dreams and spirituality, and Neptune deepens spiritual awareness and compassion, pushing humanity to dissolve ego boundaries and unite. And I'm gonna tell you what happens during these times. A lot of people gonna be ego sensitive now. You know, when you talking about dissolving the ego, this is dissolving everything you think is you. It ain't just, the ego is your persona. This is your personic unit. Now, I'm not for killing the ego. Let me say that right now. People like kill your ego. I'm not for that. You need your ego out here. You need your ego for you to be an individual. Because for you to have an ego, right, it means that you are not going to be bothered by what people say and what they think about you. That's why people view a lot of egotistical signs or egotistical people as Aquarius, Capricorn, Sagittarius. These are the adult signs in the zodiacs. So these people don't take a lot of stuff. They just don't, right? So when you're talking about being ego dissolving, this is dissolving your ego sensitivities, right? That connection to everything you think is you, to where you think everything is an attack on you. You're gonna watch a lot of people feeling attacked, and you ain't did nothing but make a post. You ain't doing nothing but say how you felt, right? So this is why you would even witness when people say, we deal with indigenous people, and now we see the people getting mass deported and all this stuff, right? People say, where's the compassion? You know, because what would you do if it was you? How would you feel if it was you? Now, to me, compassion ain't about sympathizing. Compassion is us allowing ourselves to see a wolf's and sheep's clothing. I see your teeth, Mr. Wolf. I know that you full of shit, but I also know that you being full of shit ain't got nothing to do with me. Okay. So when you talking about pushing humanity to dissolve its ego boundaries, sometimes you have to operate with people, even if they're triggered, even if they're feeling some type of way, and you got to stand in truth any goddamn way. They'll get over it, you know. So in Aquarius energy, if you got a strong Aquarius in your life, you will know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. They will stand there and stand firm in what they said, but they don't mean that they not there for you. They just said what they said. Okay. So these boundaries, now this is what the ruler of Pisces is Neptune. So Piscean people have to learn this. Now they could be good about boundaries, but a lot of time they have to escape from them. So learning healthy boundaries right now is going to be very, very huge. All right, especially as we go into more creativity and advances of art and music and healing practices. So a lot of the healing practices, holistic healing is about to come to the forefront. You're going to see more businesses coming up with holistic healing practices and inviting that into the corporate work sector. You might already be witnessing a lot of this. People acclimating more to herbs and sound bowls and all that good stuff, nature, right? So you're about to witness a lot of these things play out. And that's why the rarity of this event with the 6 planets, and we're about to have 7 planets coming up here in February, right? Now that new moon in Aquarius is exceptionally rare for making a unique alignment of energies. Now, some of the historical precedents that played out with this was in February 1962, when a new moon coincided with the major planetary alignment. We saw the rise of social movements, technology, innovation, and also spiritual awakening. And also we saw another thing happen around 2000. Of course, we were talking about the millennia and all this good stuff, right? So that was on the world, the planets aligned. I'm just showing y'all patterns. All right, you can go back and look up these events if you like. But the new moon brought heightened awareness and globalization to environmental consciousness. And now we get this energy here again in 2025, which is going to be about enhancing acquiring things with innovation, collective progress, and spiritual awakening. This event highlights a pivotal moment for humanity to embrace global cooperation and progressive thinking. And as you can see, here's another breakdown, some more energies or some more things that were happening under this influence in 1962. All right, on February 4th through the 5th, right? You've seen these planets align, and that was accompanied with the South Node. So that's a rare celestial event, and it symbolized revolutionary change and innovation and shifts in collective consciousness. The Cold War race happened during this event. I just want y'all to pay attention to the patterns. All right, so don't be surprised if the month of February start bringing some of these type of energies under this influence. The U.S. and Soviet Union were at the height of the Cold War, competing for dominance in space exploration. I don't know if y'all been hearing Trump been talking about SpaceX and all kind of shit that's going on. Now they've acknowledged that they talking about they communicate with people on Mars and all type of stuff. So just pay attention to what's going on. February 20th, the American astronaut John Glenn became the first American to orbit the Earth abroad, and friendship and seven a signing of the major victory of the United States in the space race. So this was the tie, like the astrological tie came into the Aquarius rule space and technology, and also innovation and aligning with the focus on space and exploration. Aquarius rules astrology as well. In some ancient civilization, they tie the Aquarius into being the ruler of astrology, all right, and the sciences, okay? So scientific breakthroughs, innovation, even decolonization and political movements happened during this time. African nations continued to gain independence from the European colonizations, right? So even Uganda prepared for independence, achieved that later that year. Other African nations were drafted constitutions and negotiating autonomy. Astrological ties to Aquarius represented libation or liberation, humanitarian efforts in breaking free from oppressive structures. Now I know y'all can see a lot of this on the edge of happening. It's on the verge. Some of it is already happening, right? We had the Cuban missile crisis that happened during this time in October, all right, in 1962. And coming up in October, we're gonna have a blood moon. So of course, I'll be having workshops all the way throughout this year. So stay tuned for the workshops that are coming up. And once again, for the people who did probably just join, if you want to scroll down to the bottom of your email, you will see a link to where if you want to purchase this PDF, you can purchase it for $22. And also, if anybody wants to donate to my Cash App, it is Sensei9 $sign. All right, so I will be accepting our donations. And once again, if you want to get the PDF, go ahead and purchase it. Now, when you're dealing with fascism, cultural and social change, all right, because old power structures fostering rebellion against perceived oppression. I don't know. Y'all if y'all can't see this energy paying out, and if y'all go back and you look back at this gap from the 60s, 62, all the way up until now, right, you will see a lot of the things that we fought for then, we can be still fighting for it right now. All right. So the cultural social change, right? Feminism gains momentum in the 1960s. Y'all, in feminism, I ain't gonna get too deep. I just wanted to kind of put some of this stuff. I ain't want to give a history lesson tonight, but I did just want to tie in some patterns so y'all can really see how some of this stuff is playing out on the energetic level and how it's being expressed in 2025. So February 1962 with discussions around reproductive rights. I know we've been talking about that. Workplace equality gained traction. Right? The Aquarius represented equality and challenges to traditional gender roles. I'm gonna just let y'all imagination just stick with this. I ain't gonna start pointing out too much stuff that's going on because yeah, it can get so real out here. But the planetary alignment in Aquarius sparked a shift towards global cooperation, technological advancement, and spiritual awakening. the rise of movements like civilization, civil rights, and environmentalism, and counter. You see this countercultural ideologies, countercultural, removing stuff from books, counter, not reminding people of their culture, taking that away from you. I mean, America famous for this kind of stuff. Y'all playing, y'all act like it's something that just happened, right? The energy of rebellion and progress. Now, this picture kind of depicts some of the stuff that we experienced. Apollo 14, right? Just think about what's going on in this picture. You know, they say in African tradition, where in American, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? But when you look and talking about hieroglyphs and emojis and some of this kind of stuff, my African proverbs would say one hieroglyph is worth 1,000 pictures. So some of this stuff is hieroglyphic, just a symbolism. I if you just look and see what's going on with the freedom here and social media and all this kind of stuff as well. Okay. Now, Salita, are you here? Okay. I didn't know if she was in here or not. Okay. Now, some of the key historical events in February 2000, astrological context. The year 2000 marked the transition into a new millennium, a period of reflection and forward thinking energy. February saw a new moon, right, in Aquarius on February 5th, symbolizing innovation, global awareness, and interconnectedness. So the global events kind of tied to that with technological advancements. The world was experiencing the dot-com boom, okay, characterized by the rapid growth in internet and technology industries. February 2000 emerged the major online platforms. Innovation of software set the stage for globalized digital economy, right? The astrological ties, doing shit, Aquarius rules technology, networks, innovation, resonating with tech revolution, right? How many of us are in the tech right now? How many people been talking about getting into tech? How you need to be more paying attention to more tech, you know what I'm saying? So this is her. The time is now. The World Trade Organization expanded its influence as countries negotiated trade agreements and foster economic growth. February saw protests against globalization in some parts of the world as activists voiced concerns about inequality and environmental damage. Right, Aquarius emphasizes global unity and also challenges in inequitable systems. So we ain't dealing with inequality right now, right? It's kind of like nobody's going for it anymore. We want equal rights, we want justice, right? The social justice movements, the LGBTQ rights came out in 2000, marked milestones against the LGBT. So you just look back at some of these times, y'all. I mean, just look at where we are now. What just happened with the LGBT? They just banned gays from the military, all type of stuff, right? So a lot of the things that were brought in 2000, right, back in those times that may have been deemed out of order for some people. Just a lot of people coming back to bring order to some things that they felt like was out of order anyway. All right. Because I'm totally for it. There is no reason why the president should have to sign a bill saying there's only two genders, male and female. I'm sorry. Like, it's just, no offense to nobody who identifies with something else. But once we start getting outside of nature, once we start saying, like, like, yeah, hey, now I can understand you got sexual preferences and all that type of stuff. But once these folks start convincing you that you can tell yourself that you something that when your ass die, your skeleton gonna dictate whether you was male or female. Ain't nobody gonna say LGBTQ on this skeleton. Ain't nobody gonna say this skeleton identified with whatever. Like, so I get it. These are only personal preferences, but when we dealing with humanity and universal laws, this is where we at. So climate change, activists calling for renewable energy and sustainability, right? This is also going to deal with environmental consciousness, and this is also going to deal with Vladimir Putin, right? Officially became the acting president of Russia on New Year's Eve, right? So pay attention. He at the height of his shit, okay? He at the height of his shit. So Aquarius, countries around the world experience economic shifts as they adapted to the technological revolution, and this also deals with representing the restructuring of old systems and accommodating new paradigms. We're in a whole paradigm shift right now, whether people like it or not. And, I'm all, once again, I got to reiterate, I'm all for people. Everybody got the right to be who they want to be, right? For real, for real. Nobody can determine what you do in your bedroom or what you deem to do with your body. That's your right, all right? We talking about the aspects of moving into humanity from an aspect of being more clear about what we're here to do and who we are. A lot of times our feelings have to get out the way, all right, for the advancement of the movement. And a lot of times this can seem cold to people, but in actuality, the reality of it is nobody can determine that for you anyway. So if you being sensitive to these laws, these laws don't stop what you do in your bedroom. I guarantee you that. You ain't in your bedroom saying, no, we can't do this no more. Hell no. You in your bedroom doing what the hell you want to do. So don't let this shit fool you. Don't let man's law stop you from knowing that you operate automatically in divinity and in harmony with universal laws. Period. Okay? This is when I say a lot of people don't really trust God for real. So trust the God in you for real. Okay? So these global movements focus around interconnectedness with greater interest in meditation, mindfulness, and universal oneness, right? This is a lot of stuff that came into realization around these times. And as you can see, a lot of these narratives, the space race, the internet boom and technology, civil rights, feminism, decolonization, LGBTQ rights, right? It both emphasize equality, progression, and dismantling outdated systems. Both periods encourage humanity to break free from social constraints and embrace innovation, right? So both years represented turning points in human consciousness, fostering spiritual awakening and a push towards collective progress. So when you're dealing with this North Node and Pisces and the South Node in Virgo as it moves into Pisces in 2025, echoing things from the early 1960s and 2000s. Okay, so these North and South nodes, which people who might not understand what that is, these are dealing with shadow aspects in your chart that can't be seen, but they can be felt. I love to say your North Node is your soul, life, mission, and purpose, and it's unfamiliar territory. Your South Node is past life experiences, okay? And it's also gonna be your comfort zones in this life. So understand the power of these nodes, understanding what's going on with this shift. You can track back and look back when the nodes were in Virgo and Pisces. And Virgo and Pisces is all about spirituality and what you do every day. What you do today creates your tomorrow. You want to start creating your future, start with your routines today. Going with the flow is North Node in Pisces. South Node in Virgo is letting go of being overly extended, doing too much, trying to stick to too many details, not allowing yourself to just trust that everything is happening for you, not to you. Know that it might not have to look the way you want it to look or feel the way you want it to feel, but it doesn't mean that it's not happening. Okay? So we're being pushed. Anytime the cosmos shift, our human consciousness have to shift because we're responding and reacting to these planetary shifts because they are controlled, or I would say comprised by chemicals, and they can dictate a lot about the movements of our thoughts and our emotions, whether we're aware of them or not. Once again, you don't have to believe in something to make sure know it's real. So a reevaluation of old system with the South Node, emphasis on healing, letting go of perfectionism, Virgo ruling the house of health, Virgo ruling your whole gut, and I ain't just talking about your stomach. Virgo rules everything that makes your body sift. And what I mean by sift is sifting. You know how when you go and you see somebody sifting for gold, and you know how to be like crystals and mining for shit, right? Virgo sift, yeah, and Virgo sift all of your shit, literally, the shit that you eat. All right, it deals with every organ in your torso that allows you to secrete shit and waste. That's Virgo ruling the digestive system. So this is why Virgos can be so finicky, and this is why Virgo also rules over herbs. Now, Virgo is also, when you marry this with a Cancer energy per se, this is a kitchen witch. Now, this is why they also say in the Bible when the son was born of a virgin, because the moon was in Virgo and the sun was in Pisces. This is why they say Jesus ushered in the age of compassion and unconditional love, and all the things that Jesus stood for were the principles of Virgo and Pisces. This is why he brought heaven to earth. Virgo and Pisces is where you bring heaven to earth. Virgo and Pisces is where you make your realities, right? A fantasy, your fantasies are reality. Okay. So letting go of perfectionism, global events that mirror the past themes, such as advancements in technology, humanitarian efforts, and challenges to systematic inequalities. So a lot of these lessons and opportunity involve innovation, using the time to explore new technologies and creative solutions in global problems, fostering unity and the combined energy of the planets encourages collaboration and compassion. Because without compassion, it's going to turn to competition, A lot of times people say, how can we cooperate? How can we collaborate without competition? Compassion, bro. You gotta have compassion. You gotta be able to drop all of your likes and your dislikes, all of your overly criticizing shit of people, and be more compassionate. It's the same reason why we let these motherfuckers come over here and steal everything. We show compassion to these people. Now they think we can, man, people think they can be exiled out of something that was naturally yours. We didn't come here illegally. Everybody didn't come here on no boat. Even if you came here, nobody's illegal on the land of the mother. How in the hell is you illegal when the earth is your home? So when you talking about being ruled by the pen and boundaries, by somebody else's definition and legalities, like yeah, so the fight is way beyond what we think is on the surface, right? It's a lot of internal things that we're dealing with when it comes to humanity and the lack of compassion. Nobody really has compassion for each other anymore. This is why people will tape you. People will record you dying. You get what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of we just got to get back to this aspect of having true compassion for one another and knowing that that don't mean that I got to take your shit either. All right. Once again, compassion is not looking past the fact that you a wolf trying to hide it by being a sheep. This is why Aquarius can bring exiling, kicking people out of a whole group entirely, never to come back. You know what I'm saying? So letting go of limitations, breaking free from old patterns, embracing the unknown. Our whole life is about embracing the unknown. This is why a lot of our fears can be realized when you have to go through something that you might not even think that you are prepared for. But if you look at your life, it's been that anyway. So prior vision ideas with grounded action and supported by Saturn's influence, that's giving yourself the authority to be who you are and move this earth knowing that you are a sovereign being. So it's our sovereignty, our wholeness, our oneness that's coming into play here. Us learning how to trust in something beyond our own understanding, trust in your ancestors, trust that you are your ancestors' wildest dreams. All right. Innovation and spiritual growth. Hell, even with God, God put you here for a reason. You're here for a reason. You're here to express, you're here to explore, you're here to create. All right. So when we deal with the astrological significance of these visible planets and the new moon in Aquarius, right, and the spiritual and mundane influence of the new moon in Aquarius in 2025, the new moon in Aquarius symbolizes a powerful opportunity for renewal, innovation, and awakening. Aquarius ruled by the planet of Uranus, the planet of rebellion, innovation, and a higher consciousness, co-ruled by Saturn, the structure and discipline, and inspires humanity to think beyond the ordinary, to embrace individuality while contributing to the collective progress. This new moon carries amplified energy due to the visibility of the key planetary alignments, offering spiritual growth and the tools needed for personal and collective transformation. Now, these are some of the influence that I just wanted to run through, just to tell you what's going on with some of these influences in the sky with the planets that are visible. A lot of people are saying that they're visible. They're not telling you what they're doing and what they're actually influencing, why they're visible. All right. So this can help you understand as you're seeing Mercury, what is it with? What is it doing? What is it influencing in your life, right? As you're looking at Venus, as you're looking at Saturn, as you can look at these visible planets of Uranus and Jupiter, right? What are they actually influencing? Or are you just looking up in the sky, right? And we don't have any idea. Now, it's a beautiful shit to maintain some type of mystery in your life. That's why I love to say a wise man, a fool lives by the stars, a wise man makes them dance at his feet. So this is about making the stars dance at your feet. I don't deal with living by the stars. Anybody that's ever got a reading for me, consultation for me, this is about your heart. Because how can I tell you to live by the stars when you are a star? Like when you are the planets, when you are the sun, the moon, the earth, when you are all these things, all you got to do is follow your own internal GPS. Now I can help you understand what that looks like and feels like. That's what I'm here to do as a mystic, as a guru, as a guide, as a coach, as a whatever you want to call it. So Mercury in Aquarius, spiritual influences, enhances mental clarity and innovative thinking and communication about humanitarian ideas. It pushes humanity to question societal norms and think progressively. The mundane influence, because Mercury rules Gemini and it rules Libra. I mean, rules Virgo, my bad. When you're dealing with Mercury, the energy of being Mercury rules your lungs. So that running across your chest plate up at the top, right there where your collarbone is, that's all your lungs. Tapping. See, I'm gonna talk about some of this stuff later on too. But Mercury in Aquarius, Mercury exalts in Uranus. So Mercury in Aquarius is a powerful placement of memory and somebody who has a high sense of awareness. Now, this can bring in a lot of overthinking and anxiety too. Okay. So if you feel an anxiety, because Mercury in Aquarius is going to deal with a lot of movement. Mercury is the energy of quicksilver. Anything that hits Mercury, it floats. Like if you drop an anvil on water, it hits the ground or it floats to the bottom of the ocean. You drop an anvil on Mercury, it floats. Your emotions can move and transfer through the energy of Mercury. That's why they call Mercury the messenger of the gods. All right. So that's why Quicksilver moving through Aquarius, the Silver Surfer, that's the Aquarian energy. All right. So the silver screen, the movies, you get what I'm saying? Like this is how they able to control and manipulate and influence the mind by having you focus on the silver screen by dimming the lights and they put a movie up. Now your mercurial energy can be how you watch the goddamn show to your own movie. You done bought tickets to your own memories. See? See, this is Mercury. How often do you watch your own show? How often are you on an escalator or elevator or hell in a straitjacket of your mind? That's Mercury, right? So when you talk about your mind, you can't think your way out of mental muck. You can't outthink your brain. Good luck. It's chaotic. You will never win that battle. So Mercury in Aquarius is a high mental activity. But people who thrive in mental places like that, these can be some of the most mentally agile people that you can meet. So mental agility, mental gymnastics, baby, is a time for what we're dealing with. So this is what you're gonna have to think about how mutable and how fast the thought is. Now, the power of that, you're gonna have to recognize who thoughts are your own. So you could be easily influenced by the thoughts of the collective, the hive mind, and the mundane chatter, Gemini, gossip. You want the tea. Aquarius said, nah, I want the bag. I don't want the tea. You understand? Aquarius said, nah, I want to know what's really real. Fuck all of those other tea chatter. That ain't got nothing to do with me, right? That's why Aquarian energies don't play a lot about gossip. But if they do, you ain't gonna hear a lot about them in the midst of no drama. All right, they'll go through that by their goddamn self. I'll tell you right now with Aquarius, okay? So this is Mercury and the chatter and the curiosity of the mercurial energy having to kind of digress to the energy of a knowing. Mercury is I think, Aquarius is I know. All right. With Gemini is I think. And Virgo is I analyze. So Mercury is where you thinking, where you analyze. So Mercury rules over Virgo. So it's how your organs analyze, it's how your thought analyze. It's why you can have an influence of thinking about something or go through something mentally and not think that you retain the information, but your organs retain information. This is why you hear a lot of people saying theta waves, and when you maintain listen to something in your sleep. A beloved just told me about that today, right? But I know about all this kind of stuff. I'm very well versed with the subconscious mind. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when you talk about programming the subconscious mind or reprogramming it, this takes an aspect of you knowing it first. Cause when you put programming on top of programming, yeah, good luck with trying to remove some bullshit that you don't need to be thinking about, right? So you want to uproot, right? Because we're becoming human beings. So you got to unbecome some shit before you can become it. So Mercury can be a lot of unbecoming to become you, the original you, the unapologetic you, the Aquarian in you, the rebel in you. All right. So the mundane influence occurs with breakthroughs through technology, science, and social activism. Now, the higher potential is to use this influence to communicate authentically, network with like minded individuals, and change outdated mental patterns. Whoa, 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 whoa. Communicate authentically. Authentic communication. And it say nothing about vulnerability. See, when you communicate authentically, you don't care about being vulnerable because you replace that with honesty. Honesty replaces vulnerability. Authenticity replaces vulnerability. There's nothing weak about you. So saying how you feel and not speaking up come from some childhood stuff. Now you get around the public domain and you feel like you don't have a safe place to speak because you ain't cultivated the safe place that you got to have within yourself. So what in your childhood did you deal with? What outdated beliefs do you still hold on to when it comes to how you integrate into a collective place with people? Do you feel like they should be talking this way, acting this way? You don't like the way they do this, like the way they do that? But are they producing results though? See? So just pay attention to yourself as you integrate right now and the things that trigger you, because what triggers you, because Mercury rules the first 13 years of your life. So whatever experience you having with the collective right now, if you don't like people that you with, guess what? You got to change it. If you don't like the people you're attracting, that means you might have to change how you're reacting. People ain't got no business trying to dance around people insecurities and like eggshells and shit at this moment in time. This is what Aquarius is representing. So communicating authentically, sometimes me telling you how I really feel about you might make you feel like you don't like me no more. Sometimes you thinking that you tell me how you gonna feel about me, you might start thinking about how I'm gonna feel. No, just tell me what it is so I can deal with it accordingly. People say they want that type of communication, but y'all don't really be people. A lot of people don't want that. You feel too sensitive. You don't want that. You don't want nobody to tell you how they really feel. All right. You're gonna want to fight. So you might I'm telling you, a lot of people be mindful who you talking to. Now, this I gotta add this because this the power of you being in control of a conversation. Because if you're where you dealing with somebody sensitive, you ain't willing to control your word. Don't be surprised they hit you in your motherfucking mouth. I'm just saying, like, so don't be acting crazy when the fight is on. You're like, oh, we're just talking. No, no, no. You gotta realize when your words are compassion. See, so this is gonna have a lot to do with Venus retrograde in Pisces. So this is revisiting themes of unconditional love, forgiveness, and spiritual relationships. See, encouraging healing the past wounds and love. Because Venus ain't just about people you've been intimate with. This is anybody that's in your left brain activity. Anybody you care about, anybody you have feelings about. I tell people we've dumbed down so much when it comes to spirituality with this Western mindset. Everybody that commits or I would say contributes to your spiritual journey is like a soulmate. You ain't gotta have sex with people to have an intimate relationship with people. People add to us intimately all the time. When somebody shares their time with you, when somebody shares their energy with you, when somebody picks up the phone just to hear your shit, see, just because they care. And if you are unaware that you listen to somebody who's not caring, they just want to hear the tea, that's a you thing because you ain't got that discernment. See? So when you talking about unconditional love, what are the conditions that are not allowing you to still remain unconditional? Meaning, what conditions are contributing or controlling your conditions internally? What conditions are you acclimating yourself to in outside relationships that are constantly influencing that internal relationship that you got with your own thoughts, your own emotions? This is a you thing. This ain't got nothing to do with people. But a lot of times you don't notice when you're only attracting people based off past wounds. See? Because you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are, and then a lot of times you're attracting voids that it's time for you to fill. That's why we can be looking for love in all the wrong goddamn places. And that's why a lot of us can come out here in the collective groups and we looking for love because you didn't get it from the home, you didn't get it from your mama, your daddy, your sister, your siblings. I don't know who you didn't get it from, and you still might be looking for it. Right? So if you want to stop looking for love in all the wrong goddamn places, become the love that you've been seeking. I guarantee you that'll lead you to unconditional love and a spiritual relationship. And the main one that you're gonna have is with your goddamn self, because it's the longest one you're gonna have in this life. Okay. So bringing reflections on creative projects and finances and emotional connections, because connecting with the people emotionally is a real thing. It's why Venus rules contracts. All right. So the contrast now, Venus and Pisces can bring about contractual agreements even with soulmates or old people, old flames. It might be a relationship that you could be revisiting, and it probably didn't end bad. Probably was something that was cool, but y'all probably grew apart. But in some type of way, y'all array her back together, and and y'all might be thinking about giving it a real chance this time because y'all might have grew. So these type of energies could be coming back around. It could be some sudden changes in love and relationships. All right. Now, this is going to bring in a lot of focus on self compassion, emotional healing to dissolve issues and cultivate deeper spiritual connection with people so we can connect with people beyond just our senses. Venus rules the senses, and it also it connects with the senses through the energy of Mercury. That's why Mercury and Venus, the movements of them create like the DNA or the double helix. But this also deals with Venus deals with regenerating your blood, and while Venus exalts in the house of Pisces, hence in a lot of cultures they say Venus rules over demons, right? Because this is when you see Beauty and the Beast, and how love and compassion can soothe the average or the ravaged beast. You get what I'm saying? So if love ain't working, put more love in it. That ain't working, put more love in it. That ain't working, put more love in it. If that is not enough, distance is your next goddamn friend. Okay? Period. All right. Now, because this is expanding the cores of love. Sometimes it ain't about cutting them off. It's an expansion of love. So the higher potential of self-compassion and emotional healing to dissolve those illusions and cultivate deeper spiritual connection. Because a lot of times our illusion lead us to disappointments, heartbreaks, letdowns, because you put expectations on somebody, or they showed you red flags and shit, and you showed to see the good or the God in them, no matter how much bullshit they showed you. That's why love can blind you. Love can taint your view of people. That's why when you love it, you sweet on it. When you don't love it, you're bitter on it. Love is just the sweetness of your emotions. And when they not sweet on somebody no more, we all know where that can go. That's why crimes of passions can be connected to Venus. I want you to be mindful of crimes of passions right now, right? How people could be going through aspects of love and thought this was this because this Venus retrograde and some of these placements that are going on could wake you up from illusion that you thought was love. A lot of time people don't you waking people up from an illusion or a daydream or something that they done put their all into because they really believed in it. Because Pisces is I believe. You know what I'm saying? I believe that I thought that you put all your belief in this and then you get let down. Yeah, some people will kill you. And they go to the police department, they say, I blacked out. I don't even know what happened. And before you know it, 5 years later, they at home. Or they did a crime of passion. You know what I'm saying? So this can be recognized in a court of law because it's a real law of the universe. Why you just you can't play with this stuff, okay? So that's why even dealing with Mars retrograde and Cancer going to bring a lot of spiritual influence around emotional sensitivity and promotes the needs to resolve familiar and ancestral karma, especially with the mother, the womb. Ooh, and especially for men. Mars rules men. Why y'all think these men so mad? The bunch of these dudes got mama wounds. I'm gonna tell you right now. And a bunch of these dudes could never cuss their mama out. They could never beat their mama up. You know, some of them niggas actually did it too. If you really check the track record, some of these dudes actually did some of this shit. Some of these dudes ain't been breastfed. Some people got deep wounds to where they're so disconnected from their own compassion and feelings and emotions to where narcissism is a natural consequence. Ego sensitive, egocentric, egotistical, right? Self-centered, male chauvinist type energy. All right. Because I'm gonna just tell you what's gonna be represented with this. Because now, guess what? If you looking around society, men ain't the only one possess this. Now, I'm sorry, I know somebody might not like it or whatever the case may be, but men are not the only one who possess the imbalanced masculine energy. I'm just saying, we got some women out here that don't like women. We got some women out here that don't like their mamas. We got some women out here that can't stand their sisters, aunties. That some of y'all can't even stand your damn daughters. I'm just tell you straight up. Like, so it's a lot of healing around this Cancer energy that's gonna have to be revisited around here, or you're gonna see a lot of conflict. Now, the crazy part, I would say the divine part. Let me say that because a lot of times we use the word crazy, but it's divine because you can't explain it, so it seems off the wall. So the divine part of it is the fact that after a fight, what happens? We fight, we make up to break up to make up. A lot of times, I just tell people like this here at the core of any type of conflict that you have with anybody is always gonna be love. You ain't getting into it with nobody that you didn't love or don't love. Something emotional is gonna be there. You ain't trying to get into it with nobody who you just met yesterday, somebody who you walk across in the store, somebody who you crossed in Starbucks or whatever the case may be. You ain't trying to get into it with those people. It's the people who you got feelings for, the people who you got expectations of. Oh, the people who you got titles on. Oh, the people who you call family because this cousin ain't supposed to treat me the way. This mama, she ain't supposed to treat me this way. This daddy, he ain't supposed to treat me this way. This cousin, right? These are all these names, and friends are who we choose as family. So even the word friends, see, at the word friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, it's always ends. You think it's the reason why it's ends on it? So a lot of shit ends, right? And then you begin. So this can be a lot of things ending for your traumas and your sensitivity. So this can promote slow progress in domestic matters, and also emotional confrontation, but allows for deeper self-reflection. That's why Cancer rules mirrors, all right? And Cancer rules the womb, and it also rules the mitochondrial DNA. For those of you who might be wondering why I keep speaking on women, because this is what the House of Cancer rules, and this is what Cancer energy represents and what it reflects, because Cancer brings the energy of the whole healer. All cancers, sun, moon, and rising. If you were born on 11th day, the 20th day, or if you're a life path 11 or a life path 2, you carry the energy of the cancer energy, and you carry the energy of the whole healer. One who can heal emotionally, financially, sexually, mentally, spiritually. But most of the times, you're going to spend a lot of your time doing that for yourself after somebody leave. It's just the way the cancer works, all right? Because a lot of times you're not activated until you go into your shell. Right, then you come out a beautiful peacock. That's a whole nother workshop. All right. But when you're dealing with the potential to address unresolved emotional patterns and build inner resilience through nurturing self and others, right? Because a lot of time we can spend so much time, especially women, nurturing other people to where you don't have time to nurture yourself. So make some time for self-nurturing, self-care, or else it's going to create more friction in your life, more conflict in your life. And this is not a time to be playing build a bear with people either. So people with mother wounds and all that good stuff, it could be a good time to lead those people to heal if they're not willing to sit with it, because you cannot heal what you do not reveal. All right. Now, Jupiter retrograde in Gemini is what we also want to bring into an influence. This promotes learning from the past experiences, reevaluating belief system, expands intellectual curiosity. The mundane influence is going to be revisiting things of communication, travel, and education with delays but opportunities for deeper understanding. You got to understand what's at play here with this placement. All right. Mercury, Jupiter is kind of in a foul. It's in a bad place. Doesn't want to be here, basically. Jupiter. Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, which is the opposition sign to Gemini. See, Gemini gathers information, Sagittarius teaches it. Gemini chatters and talks a lot when Sagittarius gets straight to the point. Whenever you deal with opposition in astrology, you bring two degrees together of 180-degree separation. 180 plus 180 gives you 360. So this can give you 360 degrees of knowledge in one area, right? So anybody who's born during the opposition, a Gemini sun with a Sagittarius moon, a Sagittarius sun with a Gemini moon, a Libra sun with a Aries moon, an Aries sun with a Libra moon, right? Taurus sun, Scorpio moon, all these different things that deals with the axis of oppositions. You could be at odds with your own thoughts and your own emotions. Now with this is gonna be an expansion of the thought forms. I've been saying when you've been seeing me post, this is time. This is a renewal of the mind. Be ye renews of the mind. This is what this is. Okay. That's why the renewal of the thoughts that no longer serve you, the things where you just gather, the information where you just have, and it's just a regurgitation of shit that you can't actually apply to your mundane life. So that's the difference between, because the Sagittarius will go into something not fully mentally prepared for it, and a Gemini will mentally prepare for some shit but never go into it. You get what I'm saying? So when you put the two together, I'm mentally prepared for what the fuck I'm going into. Period. Not only did I see the vision, I created it. I got the details and the theme around the vision. I understand where I'm headed. I know what I'm creating in this mundane. So that's why Sagittarius rules the archer, and it's basically pointing at the heel or the scorpion. Right. So it's killing Scorpio, which is the lower desires, so that higher mind can thrive. All right. So it's kind of like, themes around astrology. So when you're dealing with the higher potential to engage in learning and seek wisdom through exploring different perspectives, this could be a lot of school. A lot of people could be taking classes right now. You could have been back to school if you was out of school. This place has been in a while for the past few months here. Really about the past, I think 9, 12 months, something like that. Probably about 8, 9, 10 months. But when you're dealing with this energy of displacement, a revisiting of thought forms and things that you want to move more towards your own goals, and creating an expansive view of your own philosophical ways of seeing things. All right. So this could be a gathering, a lot of information that can finally serve you. Saturn and Pisces moving into Aries, because Saturn will be moving into Aries and Pisces right now. So a lot of people who have Saturn and Aries are about to have Saturn returns. People who are at the age of 28, sometimes even 27, right at the end of 27, they were born like after that in the 8th, 9th month of 27. Um, so those people right now about to start experiencing a Saturn return. So this is going to be a transitional signal of the ending of cycles, because Saturn, it was in Pisces, that's the last, it's a 12th zodiac sign. It's going to move into Aries, which is going to be the first zodiac sign. That lets you know that a certain cycle of Saturn is ending. Okay. Neptune is doing the same thing as well. Now, this is also going to be about birth of new beginnings, Aries, right? And this is also going to be about the emphasis of moving around, because accountability and spiritual growth and self leadership. Aries is the I am of your life. Pisces is the I believe. I believe who I am. I know who I am. So there's a difference between believing and knowing. All right. So in order for you to birth a new belief, sometimes you have to get past a knowing. This is why I tell Aquarius is you got one more sign to go. Aquarius being the 11th sign, Pisces being the 12th. So a lot of time what you know might be outdated. What you know might not serve you anymore. What you know might need a rewashing or recycling or revisiting. Here come Pisces to help you out. Okay. So bringing structural changes to practices, beliefs, and leadership roles and personal boundaries, right? Because personal boundaries has a lot to do with healthy boundaries and not about having walls that keep toxic shit in and that keep you feeling trapped. Sometimes people boundaries have become their hellhole and they don't even want to express it or I would say acknowledge it. So creating discipline plans for achieving spiritual and personal goals while staying grounded in your mission is going to be very key with this. Uranus retrograde in Taurus, and this will be moving into Gemini as well, coming in July. All right. Now, this is going to be an influence around encouraging rethinking values and material stability. Right. Taurus deals with your everyday needs being met, foods that you eat. Right. Taurus is your jobs, agriculture, real estate. Pay attention to what's going on here. Okay. Right. This is land around your house, land around the home. This is also like what you go out there and put in the work in to get money. All right. So we're dealing with the bull. So this is rethinking and also the value system that you have. So material stability, the relationship with the earth, awakening is a deeper connection to sustainability and innovation. Taurus wants you to ask, do I possess this or does it possess me? And is this something that is adding to my awakening or is this something that's making me feel like I'm stagnated? You know what I'm saying? So this gonna bring in a lot of that. All right. Now we've been experiencing this for a few months here. All right. So you can look back and see. Remember, you can check to see what these transits are doing in your birth chart. The whole purpose of this, I'm gonna give a breakdown of it, but who knows where this is transiting? Where is Taurus? What type of heavy placement do you have around Uranus and Taurus? All these different influences that I'm speaking of are doing what's called transiting in your natal birth chart. Those transits can be very indicative of the influences that you could be experiencing right now in your life. All right. Just another way for you to break down some of the stuff that we're talking about here. Now, when you're dealing with bringing more of a financial influence or a financial or environmental disruption, but offers opportunity for breakthroughs, this is what this time is going to bring as well, right? Uranus ruling financial institutions, but dealing with the aspect of a technology around what financial institutions use. And Taurus deals with your values and the money that finance, because Taurus rules a money house in your birth chart with the second house, right? So it is a time to innovate with your material resources because Taurus is all about material resources, right? And your everyday needs being met, like I said before. And this shifts on how you can relate to security and abundance. This is why Taurus is all about a security and abundance. Taurus ain't gonna play with you by no money. No earth sign is, right? And they're gonna be serious about getting their coins together, you know? So when you talking about this energy of Taurus, this is what brings us more of our connection to the materialistic realm. And on a higher aspect, Taurus rules demigods. Anytime you hear about a demigod in these movies or whatever, somebody was able to experience the pleasures of earth, but still know that I'm a god. Like, and
Mm.
you know, one of my Taurus homegirls, I appreciate her asking. She hit me up and she said, let's move from survival to dominion. It was so Taurian. You get what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, dominion. I like that. We all got dominion over some shit. So having dominion over this earth, knowing the power of yourself, knowing the power that you are already abundantly supplied, because they print money every day, right? So when you let go of all those limiting beliefs, you have sudden awakenings around this energy. Now, Neptune in Pisces is going to bring about a lot of spiritual influence and amplify intuition. Now, I got to tell you, with the North Node here, this is going to activate a lot of psychic gifts, all right? So a lot of your clairvoyant, your clairsentient, your clairaudient, your dreams could be more profound right now because it's a good time to make your dreams a reality. It's a beautiful time to write it down and make it plain. It's a good time to tap into your spiritual creativity. All right. And this is the dissolution of the ego based on illusions. Right. So this promotes dreams and collective compassion. Because a lot of the shit that we're so sensitive to, that shit don't got nothing to do with you. And I love to say life don't give a damn about your feelings. Think about it. When you and your feelings do the bill stop, When you and your feelings do, especially when you got children, your children gonna stop saying mama, mama, mama when you and your feelings? You get what I'm saying? Like nothing is gonna stop when you just cause you and your goddamn feelings. So that's why I say life don't give a fuck about how you feel. Now your emotions can be a huge catalyst to what you experience in your life. So having emotional fortitude or managing this emotional, I would say intelligence, a lot of times we're not struggling with, we suffer, based off of memory, and the intelligence suffers in that place because once the intellect gets involved with the imagination or the intuition, you in trouble because you are not your mind, you are not your body. These are the illusions that the ego mind can create. All right. So a lot of dissolution has to be resolved around this, and it's going to inspire a lot of artistic endeavors, humanitarian efforts, but it may cause confusion or escapism. Because if this is new to you, if you ain't been used to dealing with people, because remember the introverted nature of Aquarian, a lot of people ain't used to dealing with people. And when you talk about managing yourself, what comes next is managing people. You know what I'm saying? Like it just come with the shit. Community efforts, being with people, being able to manage your emotion, not being so sensitive. That shit is not an easy thing to do when you naturally, we everybody saying I'm an empath and I feel everything. Yeah, it's gonna be difficult to regulate your goddamn emotions in the midst of when everybody's emoting. So self-regulation tools. Y'all know I got some of that in here for you inside of the book. All right. So you will see a lot of self-regulation tools with breathing, meditation, yoga. So yoga means union. I know a lot of times the Bible done told us a bunch of this stuff is demonic. There's a reason why they didn't want us doing spiritual practices and they wanted you on your knees. I'm just telling you. It's the reason why they ain't telling you how to regulate your nervous system and they just telling you the devil doing it. They ain't telling you that you got cortisol, that you got that you got stress levels and shit, and that can fuck with your high blood pressure. They're not telling you that you have a moon sign and that can dictate your relationship with your mama and that can tell you a lot about your inner trauma. They're not telling you that you have a Chiron energy in your birth chart and that can dictate your gifts to the world. And also they can tell you a lot about your inner workings of the shit that you got to heal from. They're not telling you you're just not your sun sign, that you also have a rising sign. And your sun sign is connect you to your father. Look at your sun sign and look at your daddy. That's all I'm telling you. If you don't know your moon sign, if you know your moon sign, look at your moon sign and look at your mama. Just look at the characteristics around your sun sign. Look at the characteristics around your daddy's sun sign. See the correlation. Feel the connection. I have a course called Intuitive Astrology. It's a 13-week course that we're in the middle of. I love to allow people to understand that your intuition naturally lets you know a while about people because we talk about vibes all the time, but you might not equate it to you reading energy. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of stuff that we've been using for words that really kind of lure our gifts because we so used to giving them away to something that we deem as a higher power. All I'm telling you is that the higher power is in you. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So aligning with your higher self through meditation, creative expression, and acts of service, especially gonna be very huge when you're dealing with this mundane aspect. Because Virgo is all about service and Pisces can be all about service. Pisces can rule hospitals and needles, and so be mindful of misdiagnosis right now. You might go to the hospital and it might tell you nothing wrong with you because your energy is off. All right. You could even go to the hospital, and just because you went that day, some type of emotional or chemical was up that day, and then you go back the next day and nothing's wrong. So just be mindful of how you can deal with different spikes in your nervous system and also in your chemicals and your chemistries right now. Okay. And me and the beloved Gina was talking about earlier about magnesium, okay, and getting this magnesium chloride, magnesium, getting this in your body. Okay, magnesium, zinc, potassium, all this good stuff, copper, like mineral deficiencies, what a lot of us deal with. Okay. Now here's a breakdown based off all 12 sun signs to what you can look for as to kind of what these influences could be influencing on you. Now, once again, this will be something that you can go over in the book. If you purchase it for yourself, once again, the PDF is $22. And it's kind of just my way of putting an energetic exchange on that. So if you want to purchase the book, make sure you scroll up to the bottom of your email and you will be able to purchase the book. But it has a focus on a lot about the impacts of the all 12 of the zodiac signs, so you'll be able to see your zodiac sign in here. All right. Kind of telling you some of the, it's just a general aspect. Once again, if you would like a personal reading, of course, you can book that with me. We can get a lot more personal with these transits and these aspects that could be going on in your chart. And I can read you without a chart. I can read you without all this stuff. So if you want clarity and all that type of stuff, just hit me up. Make sure you book a session. But in this, hopefully you can get some clarity out of this because I really, really put it together for you to be able to do that. So focusing on career and reputation, keep it a lot about what Tauruses want to do, releasing rigid control of material security. So you see how Tauruses naturally have that. So a lot of times that control that they think they have over it, because sometimes the positions that deal with that can kind of deal with that. What possesses them versus do they possess it? Now Aries can be about collective goals and embracing collaboration and friendship, independence, with teamwork, right? Be open to new ideas and letting go of impulsiveness. Join social causes, innovate into your own personal goals. Gemini, education and spiritual expansion, redefining your beliefs and seeking intellectual challenges. Avoid overthinking and embrace faith in the unknown. Travel, study, or teach to grow. Right, and I'm a Gemini, and of course, I got a lot of traveling I plan on doing. Of course, you see what I'm doing, right? And I done got rid of all overthinking, right? I done had to vibe. My South Node is Pisces, so faith in the unknown, I'm very familiar with that. Now you'll see Cancer here as a breakdown, emotional depth and transformation, healing ancestral patterns. See, this is why we're talking about the Cancer energy, and a lot of this is present even with the North Node and Pisces, which I'll talk about that a little bit more when I get down into that part of the book. Now, also engaging in a deep emotional work as well, letting go of fear-based attachments. Um, when you're dealing with Leo, focusing on partnership, collaboration, breaking free from old relationship patterns, balancing your need for attention with shared responsibilities, strengthen emotional bonds through authenticity. Virgo, you'll see your health and routines, rethinking your approach to wellness and work life, all that, releasing perfectionism and focusing on holistic practices, integrating mindfulness into daily habits. Libra, creativity and self expression, reconnect with the hobbies and the passions, listen to avoid people pleasing tendencies, use artistic outlets to express your individuality. Scorpio, home and family, emotional transformation and domestic matters as possible, letting go of control and personal matters, create a nurturing space for personal growth. Sagittarius, communication and learning to adapt your thinking to embrace new opportunities. Avoid bluntness and sensitive matters. Sagittarius can be very blunt. Now, right. So write, speak, or teach your ideas, even for impact. Now, Capricorn, focus on financial values, reevaluate your relationships with money and security, release materialistic tendencies, build financial strategies aligned with personal values. Aquarius energy, identifying purpose, identity and purpose. The new moon brings powerful opportunity for self reinvention for the Aquarian energy. Let go of self doubt and fully embrace your individuality. Pursue new goals that align with your higher vision. Pisces, spirituality and introspection, heal past wounds and strengthen your connection to the divine. So release escapism and ground your dreams in reality. Meditate, journal, or engage in self-care practices. All right. So meditate on that, focusing on connecting with your intuition, even with the more innovative aspect, using career Aquarius, Mercury and Aquarius to brainstorm creative solutions and personal societal growth. Heal Venus in retrograde, Venus retrograde and Mars retrograde invite emotional reflection and resolution. Right. So even dealing with planning something, Saturn's transition encourages discipline towards your long-term goals. I love to say with Saturn, discipline now, pleasure later. All right. Now, here's the North Nodes. All right. Into moving into um retrograde in Pisces. All right, because they're retrograding right now. Okay. So these North Nodes are going to deal with a lot of karmic cycles that we're dealing with right now. The nodes always activate different aspects in the climate, and also the nodes activate those parts of your birth chart as well. So this is going to be pushing you more towards your soul life mission and purpose. So this wants you to kind of move more into humanitarian issues, trusting and going with the flow. This is a lot of surrender, letting go of fear, right? Knowing that you don't have to have it all figured out. You can do it anyway. That's the perfectionism part. Your mind on us doesn't always have to know what's coming next for you to trust the next step, that your steps are always ordered, like they say in the scripture, right? So excessive focus on material Virgo while embracing trust in the divine, intuition, and collective unity Pisces. This cosmic influence also resonates on physical and emotional and spiritual energetic levels. Spiritual and the mundane influence of the node, the North Node retrograde in Pisces, spiritual growth and purpose and soul purpose. North Node retrograde in Pisces, spiritual growth and soul purpose themes, surrender, compassion, spirituality, creativity, and universal connection. Letting go of rigid systems and trust in the unseen forces of the universe. Open yourself to the spiritual experiences and intuitive wisdoms. Find deeper meaning in life through selflessness, forgiveness, and connecting to the collective. South Node retrograde in Virgo, karmic patterns and past life energies. The things of over organized perfectionism, criticism, and attachment to routines. Lessons release the need to control every detail and learn to balance pragmatism with faith. Right? See, that's the pragmatic. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why Virgo can be so pragmatic, the unsolicited advice. So when you're talking about not drowning in the details, because they say the devil is in the details, right? You know, when you're talking about not drowning in the details, you fully trust the vision. So purpose, right? So use the groundedness energy of Virgo, which is earth, right? You got earth and water here, right? It's like being able to walk through the ocean. You know, when they say split the sea, Moses split the Red Sea, and all this good shit, right? So it's the foundation while letting go of rigid thinking and excessive self-judgment. I'm grounded and I'm rooted in this reality. Once you're no longer trying to escape her, Pisces. Once you fall in love with being human, Virgo. Once you know that you are here to serve, everything ain't about you. You are here to leave a lasting impression. Ye shall do greater works than me, Jesus said. You understand? Once you understand that you are here to serve and people are here to benefit from your experience and the presence of your energy, it's not an egotistical thing. It's not something to make you grandiose, but it is a revelation or realization or revelation of your power, right? Of your God-given right to be down here and do the work of God, per se. And this ain't meaning that you operate like a tyrant, okay? It just means that you understand that there's an aspect of where people are not going to remember you for what you do for them. They're going to remember you for how you make them feel. Period. Right? You'll watch a lot of people die with a lot of money. They couldn't stand their ass. I'm just saying. Right? So your wealth a lot of times ain't predicated about the money you have, because we know we can't take none of that shit with us. But how you make people feel and how people remember your name is what you leave behind. All right. So, in the ancestral aspects of African spirituality, it says that the last person never dies. You don't die until the last person speaks your name. That is where we get the energy of Ashe, Amen, speaking things to power. Okay. So a lot of this is gonna have a lot of kinetic influences, which I wanted to make sure I tap on. Kinetic powers, as you know, are dealing with the influences of your spiritual magnetism and all that kind of shit. The way you involve, of course, I said with the clear psychic abilities, your ability to feel things, how we can vibrate on the unseen realm, and how we can use these creative energies or these hidden powers, I would say, to bring them to the forefront. So the kinetic power enhances creativity, vision, and spiritual breakthroughs. The magnetism, the energy drives individuals towards interconnectedness and inspiring a higher vibration of unconditional love. You know, kinetic power and magnetism has a lot to do with the sun and the moon. The moon is magnetism, the sun is kinetic power. All right. So the South Node Virgo is going to deal with the energy type of being precise, methodical, structured, and analytical. All right. You want to run a company, get a Virgo. All right. You want to pay attention to some details and get somebody to understand how to dot the I's and cross the T's and read over the contract, make sure it's right, everything is in its right place, get a Virgo. Okay. Now, especially when you're talking about a lot of Virgo placements, especially with somebody got a Mars in Virgo, Virgo Sun, Moon, Rising. All right, these people are very good at details. Okay, so being here with a keen mind, so strengthening focus, productivity, and the ability to organize and heal. Remember, I told you the healing aspects that Virgo goes with, right? A lot of Virgos might have a lot of healing stuff in their kitchen, right? Because they can be very, very they can overdo it when it comes to taking care of their health. Okay. Now, the magnetism attracts energy to maintain order, but can limit flow if overly rigid. So a lot of times doing things too much over an excess, not trusting that it was good the way you did it, trying to do it so many. It's like, but if you want to get something done right, you want to do it right, you do it right the first time. So they want you have to go back and do it. So this can be a beautiful place to understand the power of doing something right and taking your time to do it. But it's also about honoring that I did my best. I did my best. I'm gonna learn as I go. I didn't have all the details together when I did the first time. The more times you do it, the more shit you learn. See, repetition, practice. You understand? See, everyday routines. Virgo rules routines. If the routines that you're doing every day are not bringing you results, it's time to change some shit up. If you ain't got what you want, you're not creating a reality that you want, it's time to change some shit up that you do every day. Period. That's Virgo. But your body wants to go back to what's comfortable. It want to go back to the same foods. It want to go back to the same experiences. It want to go back to all of that shit. You get what I'm saying? So when you understand the power of magnetism and how human nature will draw us more towards pleasure than it ever will pain. See, this is why it's painful to get in the gym and change your routine. You're breaking down systems and memories in your body that wants to go back to the bed. See, this is you taking dominion. I'm gonna use my girl Ashley word, right? Taking dominion, right, over your body. You understand? So a lot of time, once you gain the dominion, it's gonna take practice. Practice brings precision. You ain't gonna learn how to do a backflip overnight. You know, it took your ass forever to learn how to do that A when you was little. You sat in front of that teacher, you went home every goddamn day with that big old ass pencil trying to write that A. You get what I'm saying? Like how much repetition, right? All the repetition you got to put in to actually get good at something. We're in a microwave ass society. We want it right now. And I'm gonna tell you, we've been taught through survival. And, you know, instant gratification is very huge for us. We want it right now, we want to get it right now. It's a lot of patience and a lot of perseverance that's going to be required with the energy that are coming up. And that's going to require a lot of presence. Okay. And if the mind is all over the place, you sitting with yourself ain't gonna be a fun thing. All right. So it's a lot of releasing and surrendering and knowing simply that you are not your mind and you are not your body. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. They are yours, but they're not you. So the more you identify with them, the more you feel like a prisoner of them. This can be what you want to break free from. Okay. Now, when you're dealing with the chakras, because y'all know I'm a Reiki master and I'm into chakras, just for people who do not know or might not be aware of chakras, if you're in here, all right, chakras deal with your energy centers. There's something that governs your energy centers and your nervous system. This is what connects us to the seven systems of our nervous system and the seven organs and all the different things that we can deal with because they're connected to planetary energies. Through these planetary energies, we can have what's called the flow of life. This is where Qigong practices in the East. In the East, they know all about this. In the West, we like, oh shit, this nigga talking, damn nigga talking blasphemy. Nigga don't believe in God. Oh my God. And we just get like that. We go to talking energy. We can talk vibes. We can talk all type of shit. We go to talk about chakras and all this type of shit. I don't know. Do you believe in God? We don't know how programmed we is, but that's a whole
Right.
other zone. All right. But when you deal with bringing in these chakras and these connections to who we are, right? And the Pisces and Virgo, and also the third eye. So Pisces and Virgo. Remember, I talked about your gut, your digestive system. When you eat, foods have what's called what? Enzymes. Enzymes create hormones. Hormones create cells. I mean, it's science, y'all. It's biology. Now, Pisces deals with sodium and how we move iron through the body. So if you're eating foods that are not efficient in iron, which a lot of us are iron deficient because we're not getting a lot of sunlight, your body's not having the proper electrical signals that it needs to have. So your third eye can become calcified. When you're talking about fluoride, right? More calcification is Capricornian energy. Capricorn rules calcium. Okay. Your knees ruled by Capricorn. You need calcium, what? To make your joints active, to keep the bones healthy, and all this, right? Now, what happens if you get too much of this in the brain and not enough sodium? Headaches, tension headaches, right? So a lot of us, this right now could be solved by simply drinking salt water, Celtic salt, Celtic salt, all right? Also, letting go of any type of foods or sugars that are mineral deficient but are more process based because these processed foods and sugars can be addictive. Now, sugar shrinks the brain. Y'all can look up everything I'm saying. Sugar shrinks the brain. And this is why we deal with a lot of our elderly and they end up developing Alzheimer's because the memory begins to shrink. This is dealing with a sac around your brain because if you really think about it and if you really look this up, when you feel anything, all right, when you're going through surgery, all this type of shit, your brain is the one that processes these feelings, not your body. There's a connection to your brain. It's a gray sac around your brain. That connection to connects you to your electrical signals. This is called your nervous system. So your chakras can govern your nervous system. The third eye, the ajna, is connected to the pituitary and the pineal gland. This is what they call the land of milk and honey. You have a gland in your brain called the Galgata. Ain't that in the Bible? So I'm just
Yeah.
telling you. The land of Galgata, the cranial nerves, the 12 elders. All right. This is dealing with the crown. Okay. So your crown chakra, right? The third eye is the ajna. The third eye is really your first eye. When we don't trust the gut, you can't trust that. The gut and the brain coherence, because your gut activates and it wants to connect with the brain. But when they're not connected, you begin to be in a place of mental fog. This is going to deal with how we don't always trust our intuition or trust our guts. So this is a clearing of that energy. Those wants to activate more together now. Your third eye and your crown, because the crown does not deal in dealing with structure. Your third eye is how you begin to see how things play out beyond your physical eyes. Okay. You have people that see dead people. You have people that are able to see certain shit that's not there. I deal with children that are very gifted. Okay. Children that see dead people, see spirits. A lot of us lost this from when we were children because you probably said you didn't want to see it no more. All right. So that connection with the third eye, I love to say you can force that third eye open or you can ease it open. So mental like ruts and being overly thinking, overly criticizing, always in your head, you can force your third eye open to see some shit that you ain't ready to see. All right.
Yeah.
So be very mindful right now, all right,
Okay.
of what you feed into fears and doubts and insecurities. Because you might find yourself witnessing some things that you might not, I ain't want to see it. Well, the fear is the greatest bridge in this reality. I'm gonna say that one more time. Fear is the greatest bridge in this reality. What you fear in this magnetic reality will persist. Magnetism. See? Where your energy flows, right? Where your thoughts go, your energy flows. Where your emotion goes, he who controls your thoughts controls your time. He who controls your time controls your thoughts. So if you don't have no structure of your own mental capacities, guess where you gonna go get it from? See?
Structure.
See, this is what's happened when you don't have the inner authority over your own thoughts, of your own emotions. And when you marry the third eye with the crown, this is when you begin to make sense out of the downloads. I now I know what that vision was. I know what that dream meant. It didn't just come from a place of no structure. This is when you see in ancient cultures why they wrap their heads. To wrap the crown is to suppress the third eye and allow the crown and the third eye to communicate free of chatter and static. All right. Imagine your brain, your third eye, and your crown are like the knob on the radio. And if you can't pick up the vibration right, you just picking up static, white noise. Ain't that what they call white noise? So this is how you can be walking around, even when you become to be so-called spiritual. Even for some people in this goddamn room right now, it might sound like Charlie Brown teaching. I'm tell you right now, some people might be like, I don't know what this nigga saying. I don't know what the hell you see what I'm. It's frequency here we talking about. Right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times it don't
Okay.
matter how simple and plain you make something for somebody. Sometimes it don't matter about how much evidence you put in their face. When you believe what you want to believe, this can equate to blockages of the third eye and the crown as well. Because you ain't gonna be open to nothing new. See, that's Pisces. See, the illusion, delusionment, delulu, they delusional. What the fuck is they saying? See the delusional part? You can actually be a part of you can be fucking delusional. Okay. Now, this is where schizophrenia, all this shit comes into play. Am I delusional? Am I really seeing shit that everybody don't see? Am I delusional? Am I really feeling shit that everybody don't feel? See, so this spiritual part can enhance your life, and you can begin to be in tune with the unseen parts of this reality. What'll make you crazy if you go around talking about it? So you start telling people about shit. You don't see that man over there? They be like, you know what? I'm gonna call somebody for your motherfucking dad because I don't see nobody. And you over here trying to get people to see what you see. Now you gonna sound real crazy trying to get people to see what you see. If you're in a room and you begin to see something there that you know ain't right, and you can't convince them that it's there, guess who's seeing the sign?
Stability.
Guess who needs to be discerned on this time for me to go? Y'all don't gotta believe it. And guess what? If you pay attention, 9 times out of 10 you leave, they end up calling you saying, I don't know, God, I know why you left. I felt it too when you left. I bet. Yeah, cause when I left, I opened up the door for y'all to see it. Okay. So understand that sometimes when your presence is in a space and you are the one that's seeing certain things and experiencing certain things, you will be able to realize that there was a reason why you the one that saw it and nobody else did. There's a reason why a lot of us can walk around in tune with this realm and nobody else understands it. So don't be afraid if this starts to activate and you start to feel more of these facilities in connection to your higher consciousness, divine energy. Now the solar plexus is going to be dealing with Virgo, and this is what governs your control and organization over your inner power. The solar plexus also deals with what you eat becoming you. The solar plexus is the reason why you eat a banana an hour and a half later, you the banana. Okay. You eat a steak, 4.5 hours, 52 hours later, you the steak, you know. So your solar plexus is where you convert food over to energy. Okay. This is why when you don't eat of the sun, solar plexus. When you don't eat the sun's energy, raw foods, greens, you're not getting chlorophyll, you're not getting the proper things that your gut needs, microbiomes, right? You're not feeding your brain. Now you mineral deficient, and you think it's just the fact that you wanted some sugar or some candy or you wanted some liquor or no, your body's calling for minerals because you don't put the proper things in your gut. Now I'm gonna tell you, eating fruits is why people say I'm a fruitarian. All right, all this good stuff. People are switching over to just eating straight from the sun. Now you got people that's out there saying all you can do is just eat sunlight. You just be outside. There's a lot of stuff going around with this solar plexus. I'm gonna just tell you like this here: eat for energy. That's all I tell you. Eat foods that give you energy and stay away from foods that take energy away. Make it simple. All right. Don't overthink about it. Don't oversaturate it. You know damn well what you eat that makes you get that itis. Most of the things that we eat, we get that itis because what happens when you get the itis, the solar plexus become too overactive. Your pineal and your pituitary, your brain is trying to secrete all these hormones, all these enzymes, and before you know it, they got to put your ass to sleep because it's too much. So that's why when you eat fruits, when you eat vegetables, it seems like they burn quick. And you don't, it's like you stay up. You don't go to sleep eating no fruit. You don't go to sleep eating no banana. You know what I'm saying? Like your body gets energy from eating these foods. So be mindful of what you put in your body right now, especially as we move into the springtime, as the parasympathetic nerve is about to spring more into action. One of your nervous system is at rest. This is going to be about less stress, more rest. When the parasympathetic nerve speeds up in the springtime, you're going to see your body speeding up. It wants more stressful activity because it can handle it now. See, during the winter, our body can't handle a lot of stressful activity because it wants rest because it's laying dormant because the cellular activity, coagulation sets in. All right, the root chakra coming in. It bringing in stability. This is why you see all of the leaves on the trees. When you see things turn colors, when they hit the ground, they go red, yellow, and orange. The lower colors of your chakras. It's called fall because the fall of man. That whole lower part of you is going through a regeneration period. All right. And throughout that, you become undone, and then new cellular activity happens, and here comes the spring. All right. Your body goes through motions just like nature. And this is what your chakras can tell you about, and how when something moves in the cosmos, your chakras will be affected. Okay. So here's some tools for you to understand how to meditate, visualization on third eye. All right, some practices to incorporate yoga, breath work, all that good stuff, water-based activity using baths, oceans, because any type of water is a cleansing of the energy. Even drinking pure water and all that good stuff with the intention to amplify the flow of energy. Grounding practices, spend time in nature, especially with the plants, herbs, and earth-based rituals, body scans, healing work, body press, body scans, Reiki, and all that good stuff. Body awareness through mindfulness, releasing tension and control. Crystals for stability. There's some crystals that you can use, like red jasper or hematite, to balance energy. All right. Some of the physical ailments I want to give you out. Some of the ailments that you might be witnessing right now, as far as some of these planetary shifts. You could be witnessing some brain fog, some fatigue, some hypersensitivity. You're feeling emotionally whelmed, issues related to the lymphatic system, which is your immune system, which is your white blood cells, which has a lot to do with your kidneys, which can also do with type 1, type 2 diabetes, because that has a lot to do with the lymphatic system. All right, and also the prostate. All right, so men dealing with prostate issues, immune issues, feet, because your feet are connected to all of your organs. It's a good time to do something called ionic foot detox. All right. It's a good time to soak your feet. All right. You get your nice foot soak with some essential oils, some good stuff, some clay, some you know what I'm saying, some good stuff like that to help pull and cleanse your feet, even some good salts. All right. So, you know, get some good foot soaks, take care of your organs, take care of your body right now. Even some of these herbs. Now, with some of these herbs, of course, once again, I wanted to make sure that I listed some that are universally good, that won't have a lot of side effects. But a lot of these herbs do not take if you're pregnant or if you're having blood issues. Be mindful to consult your physician. I like to give a disclaimer when I give out these herbs, even though I am a herbalist and I'm able to consult you on any type of herbal regimens that you want to take. That's the reason why I recommended these herbs, because I know what they do. Lavender calms the brain. It deals with a lot with the third eye, and it deals with a lot of giving you a lot more melatonin. Okay. So this can also deal with calming your emotions, overwhelming and enhances spiritual connection, which can ignite your psychic ability. Chamomile supports relaxation and emotional flow, and it deals a lot with your hormones, and it deals a lot with calming you down your adrenals, and so does ashwagandha. So ashwagandha can boost resilience to spiritual and emotional stress. And if you're somebody who deals with any type of hypothyroidism or any type of issue like that, ashwagandha can help out with that as well. But if you're dealing with any type of clinical issues, please consult with your physician. I'll make sure that you hit me up to ask me some questions about what you got going on before you get these herbs in you. Now, when you're dealing with amethyst, hold on one second here. All right, because I heard somebody. Let me mute that person. All right. All right, I just had to mute them, y'all. My bad. Okay. Now, hold on real quick. Let me get back to this thing. Let's see here. All right, let me get back to my screen sharing real quick, y'all, so we can finish this up. Okay. Okay. All right, girl. Let's get on down up in there where we was at. Okay. All right, here we go. What we got with the ailments? All right. Healing crystals, amethyst, open the third eye, crown chakra, providing clarity and connections. Aquamarine enhances emotional flow and calmness. South Node and Virgo, all right, is also going to deal with that aquamarine and all that good stuff. Now, with the South Node and Virgo, some of the ailments that you might be experiencing, all right, digestive issues, anxiety, tension headaches, and overthinking. Chronic stress or perfectionism related to physical symptoms. All right, now healing herbs, peppermint is going to help soothe digestion. It's a very universal herb. Peppermint is just good for any goddamn body. Even children can take peppermint. Ginger, of course, stimulates the body and warms the body. Lemon balm is another one you want to be mindful of. If you have any type of iron issues or any type of you on any medications or whatever, make sure that you do some research or consult your physician if you're already taking any medication. Okay, lemon balm is a good one for calming the nervous system. Now, the crystals that can support that, especially dealing with citrine, that's going to deal with the solar plexus and also boosting confidence and releasing perfectionism. And red jasper is just a beautiful one to ground. Tourmaline as well is also a good one that you can use to ground with. Now, ways to heal through embracing these north nodes or letting go of control. All right. And also when you're dealing with divine timing, embracing your intuition, following your inner guidance rather than logic or rigidness. All right. So this is seeking collective healing, join meditative or spiritual communities to amplify shared energy. The South Node, releasing perfectionism, accept imperfection as a part of the human experience, simplify daily routines, create space for spontaneity and flow, right? Balancing productivity and rest, learn to trust when it's time to pause. The influence on humanity and consciousness, the spiritual impact of the Pisces and Virgo axis helps humanity transition from hyper-focused professionalism tendencies, Virgo, to a broader spiritual connection of acceptance and flow, Pisces. These are the two fish, right? This show equally yoked. Whenever you hear the Bible talks about equally yoked, they ain't really talking about. It's talking about your thoughts and your emotions and your understanding of who you are on a spiritual and on a mundane level. All right. So a lot of this is gonna be about bringing heaven to earth. Also promoting unity, collective healing, and the mundane impact, shifting global priorities from over resilience on structures and data to embracing compassion, creativity, and spiritual awakenings. So you finna watch a balancing out. You know how everybody run around and focus on data and being on social media, all this old type of shit. Pisces finna bring a little bit more outside activity for us to connect on a spiritual level and put some of these devices down. I have a retreat coming up in Sedona, March the 20th through the 27th. For anybody who wants to join, we will be learning Reiki. We will be in there. I don't know if Latifah's in here right now or not, but we will be doing some Reiki practices. We'll be talking about energy healing, some self-regulation tools, and all that good stuff. Okay, so if you're interested in that, make sure you hit me up. Once again, we're approaching that. It'll be here in about 2 months. So March the 20th through the 27th. All right, if you want to join that retreat, it's $3,300 per person. And you can start your payment plan now if you like to. All right. So make sure you inbox me if you're interested in that. And once again, if anybody is enjoying this information, you can also please donate to the Cash App. It is Sensei 9, $ Sensei 9. If you want to cash out me, I will appreciate any donations. Now, by understanding the nodes of the influences and working with the energies, individuals can harmonize the soul's journey with the collective evolution of humanity. By aligning these energies, humanity can break free from limitations, embracing individuality, and work together to create more aligned and harmonious future. Now, here I want to go over some of the Kemetic deities because I felt the need to just reconnect us to some type of our lineage into African spirituality. One of the main places where I learned about my power and my connection to the ancestral energy and what we see in the hieroglyphs and what we see in the statues in Egypt and some of the most original things that are still here for our marveling. All right. So these energies were always connected to deities, always connected to aspects of nature, what they call the Netaru. Only reason why I use deities because we can understand these words a lot better. But in Kemet, they were called the Netaru. They were aspects of nature, which they call aspects of God. All right. So it had a rich tradition rooted in deep connection to nature and the cosmos and divine energies. The planetary deities of Kemet represent the forces of creation, transformation, and spiritual growth. So here's a detailed breakdown of what they look like. All right. Kemetic, the aspect of Kemetic deity and their planetary conditions. Ra, of course, is the sun, the creator, the source of life, vitality, and divine will. The spiritual significance of Ra, symbolizing life-giving force, clarity, and ability to rise above challenges. The sun in their birth chart reflects purpose, individuality, and life force. All right. So the mundane aspects is governs leadership, courage, and vitality. Isis is the moon. All right, the planetary energy of the moon, the role of the goddess of magic and healing and motherhood. Spiritual significance, are set represents intuition, nurturing, and emotional depth. The moon in the chart reflects subconscious emotion and connection to the divine feminine and your mother, of course. Right? Divine feminine is your mama. Y'all just use the word mama, but I'm telling you, that's your mothership. So the mundane influences governs emotions, family cycles of growth, all right, and family cycles of growth. Tahuti Thoth, Mercury is going to deal with, it's also what they call Trismegistus and all this good stuff. This is like the planetary energy of Mercury, the role of God of wisdom, communication, the messenger of the gods, spiritual significance. Tahuti governs intellect, divine knowledge, and spiritual learning. Mercury in the chart reflects thought process, communication, and adaptability. Mercury rules the first 13 years of your life as well. And Mercury is not only how you speak, but how you listen. Okay. Mercury is never more than 28 degrees from your birth chart. I mean, from your sun sign. So 9 times out of 10, your Mercury and your sun sign are either the same or either they're in a sister sign aspect, the sign right before it or the sign right after it. All right. So the mundane influence governs logic and learning and verbal expression. Right. Hathor, which is Venus, this is a planetary, and this is the cow goddess. All right. When you see the cow sacred throughout India and all this type of stuff, this is Hathor energy, the goddess of love and beauty and joy. The spiritual significance of Hathor embodies creativity, pleasure, and harmony. Venus in the chart reflects relationships, self-worth, and aesthetic values. The mundane influences governs love, pleasure, and artistic expression. Heru, which is Horus, which is Mars. All right, the role of the god of war, protection, and divine kingship. All right, now Heru or Horus is also the birth child of Aset and Asar, which Asar, this is dealing with the Immaculate Conception. One of the first stories of the Immaculate Conception was the story of Osar and Osir, right? Osiris and Isis, right? how she put back together his body after he died and he was dismembered by her brother Set, which represents Saturn or the devil, right? So these are stories that's been told over time, and they just gave us a book and put a name on it and said, this is it for you, right? So the spiritual Heru represents action, courage, and willpower. Mars in the chart reflects passion, drive, and how one asserts themselves. The mundane influence governs ambition, conflict, and resilience. Our moon, Jupiter, right? This is why you say amen after prayers. It has a lot to do with our moon, right? Now, this is going to deal with the role of the king of the gods, represent abundance and expansion. Spiritual significance, our moon symbolizes wisdom, opportunity, and spiritual growth. Jupiter in the chart reflects belief system, optimism, and luck. Remember, this is your guru energy, all right? The mundane influences govern wealth, higher learning, and aesthetics, right? Now, Sabek, which is going to deal with the aspect of the Sagittarian energy. This is when you see the alligator in the hieroglyphs. You ever see the alligator sitting there after the man is going through judgment? And you might see Tahuti with that long beak writing down. It's an alligator just sitting there right there by the heart on the scales of judgment by Maya. The alligator eats your heart. So big is that fuck it energy. That's what I like to call it. Every time you say fuck it, that's so big. Every time you look up and you're supposed to be doing something else and you say, fuck it, I'll just do this. Yeah, so big just devoured your heart. Just that quick. All right. So the planetary role, energy in Saturn, the god of discipline, order, and protection, spiritual significance. So big represents structure and responsibility and boundary. Saturn in the birth chart reflects karmic lesson, discipline, and mastery. The mundane influence will govern stability, authority, and social structures. Osiris, or Pluto, the planet is the one who's hidden, the hidden one, right? That's why Osiris is the ruler of the underworld. Planetary energy, Pluto, the god of death, rebirth, and transformation. Now, Pluto also rules over the uterus. That'll be another live. It'll be another Zoom, all right? But you're dealing with the spiritual significance of Osiris symbolizes cycles of transformation and a spiritual evolution. Pluto on the birth chart reflects deep transformation, hidden power, and regeneration. The mundane influences govern destruction, rebirth, and also the uncovering of truths. Newt, which is Uranus, the Newt, the sky goddess. This is the one when you see depicted hovering over everything. She's blue with the stars painted on her like. So this is the role of the sky and the cosmic order. The significance of Newt represents liberation, innovation, and cosmic connection. Uranus in the chart reflects sudden changes in originality and awakening. Mundane influences governs rebellion, progress, and collective evolution. So the nymphs on Neptune, all right, this is also a daughter of Ra per se. This is also the planetary energy of Neptune, the goddess of mysticism and unseen realms. Now, this is spiritual significance of nymphs govern dreams, illusion, and a spiritual surrender. Neptune in the chart reflects imagination, spiritual transcendence, and the mundane influence governs creativity, intuition, and escapism. So, as you can see, the spiritual connection to nature and the mundane world, Kemetic deities were deeply tied to nature and its cycles. These planetary deities were seen as manifestations of natural forces, influencing both the cosmos and earthly life. Ra symbolized the daily cycle of life, and the rebirth is seen as the sunrise and the sunset. Right. This is why you see people, the Muslims, they pray to the east, right, or they pray to the west when the sun rises, when the sun sets. All right, different times of the day because this is different energy that the sun represented. Or set, the moon reflects on the phase of the moon, governing ties, fertility, and intuition. Tahuti, Mercury represents wisdom gained through observation and natural patterns such as stars and seasons. That's why I was described, and I was always keeping up with the messages that the gods would put out. So Hathor, Venus, embodied the harmony of nature, from blooming flowers to human relationships. The impact of Pluto on Aquarius in connection to Kemetic astrology. Pluto represents Aquarius and signals a time with transformation in collective consciousness and innovation, and the dismantling of outdated systems. In Kemet, Pluto corresponds to a Sar, representing death and rebirth. Aquarius reflects Nut, the sky goddess, representing cosmic unity and progression. The marriage of these energies bring about a new birth of consciousness. All right. That's why this is going to transform of humanity, such as a SARS resurrection brought new life, and Pluto's Aquarian challenges to humanity evolve spiritually and socially. So technological and social innovation, new Uranus fosters breakthroughs that align humanity with their higher cosmic principles. So when you're looking at how these planetary energies affect your birth chart, your soul, life, mission, and purpose, your connection to divine forces and lessons that you're meant to master, your spiritual potential, that your natural gifts and challenges tied to your spiritual path, the alignment of Mayat, guidance for balance in your soul's journey in universal harmony, how to harness planetary energies. So here's some ways for you to some meditation techniques, doing some things out in nature to invert and like deal with this cosmic rhythm. Learn your birth chart. Get to learn some stuff about your birth chart. Once again, if you want a reading or you want a glimpse to your birth chart, you do not know anything about your birth chart, make sure you book a reading. All right. The influences of Mayat, the planetary energy and divine balance. Because Mayat, I made a post about 6, 7 years ago, and I was talking about Mayat being restored. So I just want you to take an assessment of this breakdown, and you tell me, do you think this is happening? Mayat represents the concepts of divine order, balance, truth, and justice, and cosmic harmony. She is not just a deity, but a principle that governs the universe, humanity, and the cycles of life and nature. The planetary energies correspond to the aspects of Mayat's influence, symbolizing how the cosmos maintains harmony and how individuals can align with it to fulfill their souls, their spiritual purpose. So breakdown of Mayat, right? Divine will and purpose connects to Mayat, and the sun represents life, truth, and clarity, and would uphold Mayat in daily life, just as Ra traverses in the sky, meaning that the sun will rise, maintaining cosmic order. Humanity is called to bring light, purpose, and vitality to their lives. Spiritual influence aligns with individuals and their higher purpose and encourages living authentically, right? So lead with integrity and radiate positivity, ensuring actions align with the truth. The truth doesn't set you free, it makes you free. All right. So the moon dealing with our set, emotion, balance, and intuition, a lot with emotion, intelligence, the connection to Mayat. The moon reflects the balance and the cycles of the waxing and waning, like the rhythm of life. It governs emotional equilibrium and the nurturing aspects of Mayat. So the spiritual influences guides individuals to trust their intuition and honor the emotional currents that align with universal harmony. The only way through, the only way you're gonna move any type of stagnation or any type of inertia, any type of energy that's in your body that wants to be expressed is by emotions. You have to emote. Allow the emotion to emote. All right. So staying connected to your inner self and honoring emotional truths is the key. And a lot of times you ain't gonna know the truth about what you feel until you feel it. We can't think our way into where we're going. Your mind is gonna have to take a back seat. You're gonna have to allow yourself to feel and embrace the fact that sometimes it's gonna be uncomfortable. You might not know what the hell is going on. Your brain might not be sure about what's happening. You're gonna have to let go of those fears and fully immerse yourself into the trust and the surrender, knowing that you are a part of the universe and the universe is in you, or you are a part of God and God is in you. So the ultimate trust, even knowing that you are your ancestors' wildest dreams, knowing that you have your ancestors bagging you, you're always supported, you're always divinely guided. Like we want to have to find something that we have to lean on greater than our own understanding, especially if you're not somebody that operates in knowing. All right. So connection to Mayat, even with Tahuti dealing with wisdom and communication, Mercury represents the dissemination of knowledge and logic and the use of language to uphold Mayat's principles. Tahuti, as the order of truth, ensures words and thoughts of harmony and word with with divine law. So your word is your bond right now. No, it's always been that, but just imagine that it's even more amplified right now during this time. You're gonna have to bag up what you say, right? You can't be making gods of being claims around being godly and ain't nothing godly about you, right? Talking about unconditional love when you hold on to judgment and ridicules and condemnation of your heart. So be very mindful of the words that you speak upon yourself, because if you grow balls right now, you're gonna have to worm. Okay. You're gonna have to be ready to goddamn me put this suit of armor on or the armor of God on and walk in this goddamn reality, knowing that you are here for a reason. Understand me? So the spiritual influence encourages clear communication, led to intellectual growth, and also the truthful exchanges, right? So a lot of people, exchanging more truthfully and honestly, it might cause for you to look weird. It might cause for you to look different. It might cause people to look at you like they don't, and it might cause for you to be honest with some people about who you was today. You might not were yesterday, right? You might have said yes to some shit 3 years ago that's not in alignment with who you are today. So authentic communication goes both ways, because a lot of times you being authentic means you got to be willing to get naked. Okay. Now, this is why people deal with vulnerability so much. So wisely speaking the truth, to foster harmony is going, because shit, the more we get the truth out, the more we ain't got to worry about somebody lying to us or playing with us. Genuineness and authenticity, if you look it up on the emotional scale, it is higher than love, right? A lot of people may not realize that, but if you fall in love with something or you truly fall in love with the power of life that you are, it only enhances what you're authentic about, period. So love is always an enhancer. Love is always an escalator to take you higher into something. You know what I mean? So the connection to Ma'at and Venus symbolizes beauty and relationships and harmony. Connects to Hathor embodies the joy and the love and the balance in human interactions to maintain peace. All right. So the spiritual influences the ability to create beauty, foster love, and prioritize harmony in relationships. Listen to cultivate self-love, harmonious connection to align with universal peace, right? You got Mars and Heru dealing with courage and justice. The connection to Ma'at, Mars represents the warrior energy of Heru, right? And this is also who fights to restore balance and justice. It's your masculine principle right here, okay? It aligns with the divine, with the drive to protect and assert Mayas principles. When the masculine is at home, the feminine can create. When the masculine is at rest, the feminine is at her power. When your masculinity is no longer over exaggerated, over exerted, overly sensitive, rah, 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 got me messed up, want to fight, guards up all the time. Your feminine principles, your feminine energy is allowed to thrive and create at her will. All right. So channeling that passion and assertiveness to stand up for justice, right? Because Mars and Libra, no justice, no peace. The Jupiter deals with abundance and expansion. Connects to Maya. Jupiter reflects on a moon's expansive energy and abundance and represents the spiritual rewards of living in alignment with Maya's principles. Spiritual influence promotes growth and optimism and alignment with universal laws. Expand understanding and live in gratitude to attract prosperity. You got to be grateful for what you have and what you don't have. Like people say they want more, but you ain't even grateful for what you got. If you can't make the best out of what you got, how you think something else gonna come in? If you so busy holding on to what you got, you ain't making room for nothing else to come in. So it's gonna be a nice flow, baby, that we're gonna have to find. And I don't know what that flow state is like for you. I don't know what these influences could be truly influencing for you on a personal level. Remember, this is just a breakdown of what we can all be experiencing on a collective level. But you individually are gonna have to have your own understanding and your own trials and tribulations as you move through these energies. All right. So big Saturn, Mayat symbolized the structure of discipline needed to uphold Mayat. So big enforces order and responsibility, ensuring cosmic balance. Right. This influences encourages maturity, accountability, and karmic lessons because you the one got to be accountable that you didn't do what was necessary today for you to be all right when the bills come. You know what I'm saying? Like you the one that you got to be mindful that you didn't save and be ready for when that time came where you couldn't avoid it anyway. You know your phone bill coming every month. You know your rent coming every month. You know all these things coming every month. Ain't nobody else's responsibility but to stand on business but yours. You know who you dealing with. You know who don't like you. You know what these people will and what they will not do. So who's in control of these conversations and these relationships that you're experiencing that you feel like are controlling you? So once you know what's going on, you got to play the game and honor it for what it is. Otherwise, you just saying fuck it. That ain't gonna feel good. All right. So new innovation and liberation connects to Ma'at. Uranus symbolizes or reflects the cosmic mother Newt, representing sudden changes in higher awareness and challenges in the outdated structures to align humanity with Ma'at's progressive order. Spiritual influence promotes awakening and the pursuit of freedom. Right? Embrace change and innovation to align with the evolution of truth. Neptune, the nymphs, represents spiritual mysticism. Cause when you deal with this energy of coming into the energy of Uranus, this is where we at, the awakening. And Uranus squares at 42 in everybody's life. So Uranus is that detachment. Uranus is saying, I'm present, but I'm detached. I'm no longer attached to suffering. I'm no longer attached to the traumas of the mind. I've been liberated from them. See? I've innovated myself in all of the things that I've been through. Everything I've been through made me who I am. I love my uniqueness. I love everything that I ain't mad at nobody because everything that my mama did to me or daddy did to me, anything that happened to me in my life made me who I am today. And I fell in love with that. So I'm liberated from my traumas of these memories that can keep perpetuating in my goddamn head. And I keep on buying tickets to the show. See? So that's what you're liberated from with the creative energy when you're talking about detachment. It don't mean that you no longer feel. It don't mean that you're no longer human. It just means that you fell in love with all you got to do is just be present, period. Everything else is just going to fall into knowing. Okay? So surrendering to that connection with divine truth and all that type of shit is what you're going to tap in when you deal with Neptune. And the spiritual influence is the ability to dream, imagine, and connect with the unseen. Don't lose your ability to dream. You create a goal, you create a vision, you complete that, create another dream. Don't stop dreaming. Okay. Balance the dreams and reality to avoid illusion, to stay grounded in truth. There's a difference between you dreaming and not honoring what the hell is right in front of you. Somebody holding a gun in your face, you saying that ain't no gun. That ain't no gun. I be shit till that motherfucker fire off. Then you realize it was a gun. Okay. So don't lie to yourself about what's in front, right in front of you. Even when it comes to people, call a snake a snake. Call people who the fuck they done showed you who they are. Believe them. And call them by that. Even if they don't want to identify with it. Your actions already showed me this who you are. So I gotta call you by name. If you're not able to name your poison, you will never find an antidote. Okay? Period. So Pluto, a star, transformation and rebirth, connects to Ma'at. Pluto represents death and rebirth, echoing a star, a cycle of transformation. It challenges humanity to release what no longer serves and align with divine order. So the spiritual influence encourages deep healing and regeneration, and embracing transformation as a path to a higher alignment and with universal balance. Now the chakras connected to this, right? Because Ra, of course, the solar plexus, willpower and confidence, the moon, the sacral chakra, emotions and intuition. And you remember the sacral chakra is also the abode of your soul. It's also your connection to your emotions, and every sexual experience you ever had is in your sacral chakra. Your throat chakra, when you don't speak what's in your heart or what's on your mind or whatever the case may be, it drops back down into the sacral. Your throat chakra and your sacral, or your yoni and your larynx, your thigh, this all looks the same. Okay. So there's a motion of opening and closing. So when you don't express, you get that lump in your throat, you swallow it down where the energy ain't went. It had to go somewhere. So this can equate to emotional eating because I'm not speaking up. Me feeling like I don't want to eat because my throat chakra's imbalance, immune issues, right? White blood, all these issues, throat chakra shit. Okay. Hey, throw a heart chakra, harmony and love. If you don't rise above the heart, you cannot dwell in the throat or the crown or the third eye. You'll be like a seesaw battle if you stuck between the heart chakra and the lower chakras, which is courage and survival, right? Courage and survival can lack vision, lack wisdom. But if you have the wisdom and the vision, you can survive any goddamn world. So you see how the chakras got to work together? So when you're dealing with the crown chakra, you're dealing with discipline and superior spiritual authority. How you give yourself dominion over this body. How you give yourself dominion, knowing that you are life force energy. So when you're dealing with Newt, she also deals with the crown chakra, all right, and dealing with awakening and liberation. But you got to have some type of authority when you awaken. A lot of people awakening ain't got no authority. They think they can run around here and fuck who they want to fuck, do what they want to do, lie how they manipulate. I'm just telling you, it ain't. I don't. This what you witness. Watch. Look at the movies. Don't they show that whenever them guys come down here, they start having all this misuse of power. They start thinking they can do everything human. Then they start becoming human and shit. And it's like, oh shit, you know, lost my god power. See, this is like the hero's journey. So this whole thing could be like the hero's journey, y'all. All right. So here's some meditation practices that you can do. Of course, the third eye chakra is also dealing with nymphs or Neptune, Pluto or Sar, the root chakra and the sacral chakras, transformation and rebirth. So here's some meditation practices and also some of the conclusions to the spiritual practices. Now here's the power of the nodes. All right. Now this is gonna be dealing with a lot about weather patterns and human consciousness and the lunar nodes, the future karmic path, Saturn. I kind of touched on this already, so I'll just kind of touch on some of the key points here. Once again, if you want this book for your purchase, please make sure you purchase it for your personal keeping. All right. So these points of the moon orbit intersect the ecliptic shift through the zodiac sign approximately 18 to 19 months. So nodes stay in one node for about 18 to 19 months. And that's been associated with shift in human consciousness and weather patterns as well as historical spiritual cycles. All right. So you'll see a lot of these linked to celestial eclipses. We have a few eclipses happening this year in 2025. We had a few eclipses leading up into where we are now with these nodes that can correspond to significant changes in the climate and the weather. We've been saying natural phenomena. We also in the middle of what is called a solar maximum. Now, this won't be fully realized until July. I'll be speaking more on that later. All right, but we're watching a lot of shifts in climate because in one of the places, and some of the places where it was once dry, it's going to be wet. I said this about 5 or 6 years ago. All right. Now, in some of the places where it was once cold, it's going to be hot, and you might be witnessing a lot of the same weather patterns across this globe because of the ecliptical movement of the sun and a lot of these tilts and shifting and the ages that we're moving into. And the sun is completing a cycle. which is going to bring winds and Gulf streams and solar flares and all kind of stuff that you can track all this stuff when they talk about when these things happen, how they're affecting weather patterns, even with eclipses and nodes shifting, how earthquakes and floods and phenomena begin to happen. Pisces rules over the oceans. So there's that. Virgo rules over the earth. So there's that. Earthquakes, volcanoes erupting. Air and fire are often associated with the atmospheric changes like hurricanes and wildfires. We just witnessed some of that. Okay. Now, historical correlations, movements of the nose with notable environment shift. For example, when the nose shifting to water signs often precedes major archaeologically challenges or natural disasters. So remember, pay attention to the farms, the foods, all right, the waters. We've been watching a lot of this go on. They made a lot of these movies, Avatar, Way of the Water, Aquaman, even in the Black Panther 2, they had them using aqua technology. All right, so we watching a lot of the waters being correlated and being put right in our face about them showing us that we're dealing with moving into more of a water-based time, and that's going to deal with emotions. All right, so this can influence a lot of collective consciousness shaping humanity focus on karmic lessons and spiritual evolution. The North Node directs attention towards growth and potential, while the South Node encourages release of outdated beliefs and habits. Pisces and Virgo nodes throughout time. These nodes shifting into Pisces and Virgo, South Node emphasizes spiritual awakening, Pisces, and the need to let go of hypercriticism, perfectionism, Virgo. Historically, nodes have been marked with pivotal moments in spiritual evolution, societal reform, and environmental awareness. Right? Pisces North Node is always around spiritual growth and compassion, themes of unity, transcendence, compassion, creativity, and surrender. Moving away from materialism, judgment, and rigid structure, Virgo, to embrace forgiveness, spirituality, and interconnectedness. The Virgo South Node will release perfectionism. Analyzes, right? Hyperfixation on details, excessive control, and critical tendencies. Letting go of the need for constant practicality and control, opening up to the unknown and trusting your intuition. Good luck with telling Virgo some shit like that, but that's what Virgo's got to learn down there, right? So you'll see the shift in 2000, 2006, 2007. Look back at your life. What happened around 2006 to 2007? For me, I was coming out of depression around that time, you know, and it was literally 3 years before my mother transitioned. You know what I'm saying? So if you really pay attention to when these, I mean, it was 3 years after my mother transition, right? She transitioned around 2004. So if you really pay attention to this, you'll see some significant events that may have led to your spiritual awakening around this time. All right. So just pay attention to these dates. Look at these dates at your time, what happened in your life. Look back at these dates, okay? And a shift from institutional beliefs towards collective compassion and emotional intelligence. Notable weather patterns, crises such as hurricanes, floods, Hurricane Katrina. All right, happened during this period. All right, this is also global awareness of climate new change. Climate change grew significantly, leading to more conservation efforts. Right, Pisces noticed shifts in 1987 and 88. Human consciousness and hormonal convergence of 1987, often seen as a turning point in collective spirituality, aligning with the rise of the New Age philosophies. A surge in ecological consciousness, right? So we're more ecological into ecology and all this type of shit, coinciding with the global recognition of an ozone layer crisis. So remember 87, 88. You know, I was about 9 years old. You know what I'm saying? 8 years old. And you can remember some of the things, the cartoons that came out then, right? The things that we were talking about back then, you know, where we were in the analog time back then, right? Just think about how far we've came. See, this is how you look at patterns and look at the advancement of human consciousness, and how you can tell that when these nodes happens, we're advancing into something new. So in this next 7 year period, we'll be revisiting what we did in the last 7 years. Okay. And then number seven is very prominent. Remember, we're talking about this number seven is 7 year cycles. So just remember that. So you can look at your life and say, how many 7 year cycles have you had? Are you 49? You had 7 year cycles. Are you 42? All right. So you'll see how this plays out when the number seven and the essence of spirituality. And I also have some angel numbers in here for you out as well. Now, when you're dealing with the nodes in 2025, right, especially with the North Node and the South Node in Virgo, spiritual awakening and humanity moves into Pisces North Node. Collective consciousness may focus on spirituality and interconnectedness and compassion for others, there is a potential for a global shift towards unity and dissolving boundaries, both physical and ideological. So this is letting go of perfectionism. Virgo's South Node encourages humanity to release a reliance of any overly analytical thinking, obsessive organization, and control. This nodal placement suggests learning to trust intuition and accepting imperfections in oneself and the world. Good luck with telling people that right now. Which y'all see what's at play. They want everything to be perfect. Y'all motherfuckers are not used to shit being perfect yet. Golly, we ain't used to just shit, not everything not going your way. Man, when has anything been perfect in this world? I'm just saying, like, golly, get over it. It was what we this is what happens. Change is inevitable. You ain't liked every change. This ain't the first time somebody want to do something to the president either. Okay. So environmental focuses, Pisces encourages awareness on oceans and also rivers, and Virgos prompts about agriculture, food, and food systems, and also global initiatives may emerge around water conservation, ocean cleanup, and sustainability. Now remember this. I'm gonna tell you by July 2022, by July 22nd, we're gonna see something happen. I'm not gonna say just yet, but it's something that's gonna be. I'm gonna make the full prediction here as soon as I get it all together. But July 22nd is something going to happen in this reality. Now, when we're dealing with the weather patterns and also increased focus on water crisis, floods, droughts, ocean preservation, possible unusual atmospheric shifts connected to water, tsunamis, heavy rainfall, melting glaciers, raining down here in Dallas right now. So Virgo's influence can highlight agriculture, crisis, food shortages, or new farming innovations. Spiritual movements, the rise of collective meditation, spiritual gatherings, and global compassion and initiatives. Now, this is why we're here, because I did this workshop out of compassion. Everything that I do is out of compassion, because somebody could easily just be taking all this information and saying, I can live my life with this. And nobody I ain't gotta make nobody aware of nothing. So people could be real selfish with some of this information, but it would be selfish of me not to be selfless. So I enjoy sharing this. I enjoy enlightening people, and we're not in this alone. It'll be one thing if I'm the woke this motherfucker, don't nobody know what the hell going on, and then I'm trying to tell you what's going on. You look at me like I'm crazy. So the more of us the more of us that know what's going on, the more of us know we ain't crazy. Okay. So highlighting agriculture crisis and all this type of shit. A lot of y'all could already, especially you women, y'all might already been feeling some of this is gonna happen. So if you've been dealing with any of this and some of these feelings you might already had, well, here's your confirmation. All right. Potential awakening of rigid religious and institutional structures replaced by individualized spirituality. This is happening now. An increase in dream work, creativity, and exploration in altered states of consciousness, e.g., throughout art, music, and healing. Technological and medical advances, innovation in holistic and mental health practices as society leans into healing emotional wounds. I've been preaching healing time for so long, and now here we are. I started preaching it when these nose flipped. It's crazy, right? I literally was doing this when the nose flipped. And I had my oldest daughter. I don't know, she might be in here now, but I had my oldest daughter when the North Node was in Virgo and the South Node was in Pisces in 1998. And that is my North and South Node. So she had the same North and South Node as me, and she's my firstborn, and she's a Pisces. So if you look at your children and you look at some of the cycles in your life, it might trip you the fuck out. You might be like, wow, okay. So medical advancements, an affected nervous system or immune responses, and all this type of stuff, moving from critical perfectionism, Virgo, to spiritual surrender and compassion, Pisces, balancing mundane responsibilities and higher spiritual ideas, letting go of control and trust the flow of life, using creativity and intuition to solve complex global problems. All right. And also, here's the Virgo energy, focusing on developing compassion, creativity, and spiritual connection, letting go of the fear of the unknown, embracing vulnerability. South Node and Virgo release judgment and the need for perfection. Avoid micromanaging life. Instead, find joy in the process and the journey. All right, because sometimes I like to say with the Virgo energy, if everything is a priority, nothing is. Okay. Collective initiatives to heal water systems and oceans. All right, so we can come together and deal with some of this water crisis. All right, global compassion movements to unify people beyond borders. Right, no borders should separate us. But this is why they going back to trying to make them separate us. They got to put their illusions back in play, y'all. They have to put the even though borders don't separate us, the minds do. This is why every state, every country deals with a mindset. New York people think different. Texas people think different. California people think different. Mississippi people think different. Florida people think different. A state of mind. What state you from? Texas. I know how you think. What state you from? Florida. I know how you think. Tell me what city. I get even more narrowed down to how you think. You get what I'm saying? This is how they got us separated in the illusion of the mind. But this is real when it comes to the acclimation of the land because the land is alive. And since the earth has meridians and ley lines and all this type of shit, and the earth speaks to us, they're aware of how we will be connected to the earth in different systems, period. Right? And you'll see people acclimate to every climate that they go to. And you start to take on the environment naturally because your body, you are naturally adjustable. So if you were born under these nodes, you may struggle with self-doubt, Virgo South Node, but thrive in creative spiritual endeavors when embracing Pisces. I know I have some people, I have some mentees, and a lot of them have Pisces North Nodes, and they struggle with this very thing and learning how to go with the flow. So even if you're a Pisces Sun, Moon, or Rising, you could struggle with this very thing. All right. So by embracing the lessons of the Pisces North Node, releasing limitations of Virgo, humanity can move towards unity, compassion, and healing while leaving behind judgment and rigidity. Now I get off into these chakras. Now, before I get down, I know I talked about a lot. Anybody got any questions about what I went over? Anybody got something they want to add before I keep going? I know we've been here for a while, so I want to thank y'all once again for coming. We won't be here too much longer. I got a couple of more things to speak on, and then I will let you all go. And there will be a ritual and everything to go with this as well. So I just wanted to make sure that you're well informed moving forward with this energy and now have a better understanding of it. So if you are learning something, just put a one in the chat for them if you are learning something. And if you do got something you want to add or a question that you may have, I can give you the time to do that right now. All right.
I have a question, Sensei.
Talk to me.
Thank you for all this information. I truly appreciate your energy and sharing it with us. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Um, my question is, you were talking about 7-year cycles. Can you talk about that versus like the 9 numerological cycles? Like
Oh, I
which,
love it. I love
yeah,
it. Good
what?
question.
Thank you.
Cause us being in a universal year of a nine. Now, I'm gonna tell you how you can find your universal year or your personal year. For anybody in here, I've taught this, in a lot of places. But if you don't or not familiar, I'm gonna give you. Cause us being in a universal year, for those of you who might not be familiar with what she just asked, if you add up 2025, it gives you a nine. All right, we were in the 8 year last year, 9 year this year. So when you're dealing with the aspects of the number nine, this is completion and endings. So things are ending so things can begin, is what I love to say about the nine. The 9 years where you got to ask yourself, have I done all I can do? Have I been all I can be? Have I gave all I can give? I'll go, like, gave all I can give, right? Have I showed up in every expression of me, right? If these answers are all yes, the next thing is to walk away. You get what I'm saying? But when there's an unwillingness to walk away in a 9 year, because nine is ruled by Pluto, Scorpio, Aries, conflict is going to ensue. So when you marry this energy with a 7 year cycle, what in the last 7 years are you still dealing with that needs to be ended? What cycles in relationships, jobs, anything that you know you've been wanting to change, but here you are 4 years later, 5 years later, 7 years later. And you can really look back on your life and say, I started this probably about 6, 7 years ago, maybe five. But this cycle is saying now what needs to end in your life so something new can begin. A lot of y'all might feel like you're going through a dark night of the soul right now. A lot of y'all might feel like you're in a place to rise from the ashes like the phoenix. There's time for you to come out and be more bold and expressive in your endeavors and how you show up as you. See, that nine could be giving you a flash of your fire and your drive and your passions, and at the same time, you looking back on the shit that you gotta leave behind or the thing that you already left behind. So that nine is always going to deal with any expressions of you. Because people who are born on the ninth day, if you are light path nine, even if you have Sagittarius placements heavy, or you're a Sagittarius sun, moon, or rising, even if you deal with a lot of Scorpio, Aries energy, you can deal with nine energy per se a lot in your life by being always somebody that learns how to give to everything and nothing can take from you. So in the nine energy, if in vortex math, if you take 9 and you multiply 9 times any number down the number spectrum, which the number spectrum would be 0 through 9, and you add those answers up, you'll get 9 every time. 9 times 9 is 81. 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 2 plus 7 is 9. 9 times 5 is 45. 4 plus 5 is 9. Do I gotta go on? Right? You cannot miss the 9. Feminine. So you see the feminine principle with the water? We're also called in what's in the cardiology a 9 of hearts year. So the 9 is reflective everywhere, and the 9 deals with 9 ether. The 9 deals with the highest form of energy and being able to give to all things based off every expression of you, because you only got your body from your mama, which is the feminine, the divine feminine principle. So your ability to express yourself as a man, as a woman, as sister, as daughter, as friend, as lover is only a reflection of you having a body. That's it. So even your name is just an expression of you. But with each name comes a title. Each title comes an expectation. Each expectation is lied to somebody calling you that name. So that means you got to show up for that name, show up for that expectation, show up for that expression. If that expression has got you all over the place, your persona, your ego feels all over the place. This is why it could be feeling like we're being put back together as we're being torn apart at the same goddamn time. So if you want to know your number, you want to add up your birth month with your birthday. Like my birthday is 6/6. So I'll add up 6 plus 6 plus 2025. All right. And that would give you your personal year number. All right. So did that help you out, beloved?
It did. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good question, too. All right. Now we'll get on to the chakras. Want to give y'all a comprehensive breakdown of the chakras and the biochemical aspects. I know I kind of tapped on it before, but I want to give you what you're dealing with when you come to these chakras. All right. Mars, you're going to deal with vitality, cell salt. This is going to be dealing with phosphate, ferrin phosphate. So this support oxygenation of the blood, muscle energy, and inflammation regulation. All right. Root chakra, courage and survival, deficiency, fatigue, low energy, muscle weakness, or inflammatory conditions. Increase iron-rich foods, spinach, lentils, kale, all that good stuff. Exercise for blood circulation and grounding practices like walking bare feet. Venus is going to deal with cell salt, natrium phosphate, or nat phosphate. This deals with balances pH balance. All right, so aids in digestion, reduces acidity in the body. The heart chakra, love and compassion, acid reflux, skin rashes, irritability, and emotional tension. Alkaline foods like cucumber and watermelon, heart opening meditations, or wiring rose quartz can help balancing out that energy. Saturn is going to deal with discipline and structure. Cell salt is going to deal with calcarea fluorica, which is calcium fluoride, which is also going to deal with calcium, like I talked about earlier. So this is going to be deal with the function of strengthening bones, teeth, and connective tissues. Now, this is also dealing with the crown chakra, discipline and spiritual work, weak bones, joint issues, and poor posture. All right. So calcium-rich foods, even dairy. So some people, a lot of cultures still eat dairy. All right, like eggs and all that type of stuff. I don't deal with dairy, but I know some people who love to do. But even if it's goat milk, all this kind of stuff. So there's different ways you can find to incorporate proper good dairy, even with cashew milk or all this kind of stuff. So we need some type of dairy. This ain't talking about pasteurized or some type of shit like that. Anytime if you make milk out of nuts, you just made dairy. So don't get it twisted just because you heard to see the word dairy. And I'm telling you to drink 2% milk or some shit. All right. Because I don't drink cow puss. Okay. I don't. Now, when you're dealing with gentle stretching, I'm gonna drink some water, shit. All right. When you're dealing with stretching and all that good stuff as well, it's gonna have a lot to do with this Jupiterian energy. Um, and also dealing with expansion of Jupiter, optimism, all that good stuff. Finding this power of yourself, and also this can bring in a lot of self-reflection too with this energy. All right. So reflecting, going back into a self-actualization, It can deal with a lot of the hermit mode and all that good shit. Okay. So Jupiter, cell salt, natrium, natmer. All right. This deals with balancing water, balancing motions, equilibrium, and circulation. So the third eye is going to deal with vision, intuition, some of the deficiencies of water retention. Your body's retaining a lot of water. Okay. Some people might not tell you this with third eye, but you ever see before a fight, and a lot of the boxers lose water weight. All right. So water retention, excessive dryness, or emotional stagnation, hydration, sea salt and water. Remember, I talked about that earlier. Even foods like celery can help out with this. Journaling to release emotional blockages can help with this as well. Uranus is going to innovate more awakening, cell salt and magnesium phosphate, mag phosphate, regulates the nervous system, muscle relaxation, electrical impulses. All right. So you can remember this is what you're going to need with this goddamn Uranus energy. So even if you're Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or you got Aquarius placement, like my sun sign is in Scorpio, but it's in the 11th house, I might as well have an Aquarius moon. You know what I mean? So this regulates the nervous system and also relaxation and electrical impulses and the crown chakra and awakening of freedom and freedom. Deficiencies, cramps, and nervous tension, like headaches. Remember, I told you drinking salt water because your body needs water to take salt to your brain. Okay. So if you actually drink the water with salt in it, what you think gonna happen with your brain and headaches and tension and shit? I promise you, especially with magnesium. And that's what Gina and I was talking about earlier, even rubbing magnesium on the joints and all that good stuff. All right. So magnesium phosphate is going to be the best one because this one holds a lot of what you need and is able to pass the skin and the blood-brain barrier just by using it alone. So also dealing with cramps and nerve tension and headaches, magnesium-rich foods like nuts and dark chocolate, breath work and meditation to calm the mind, Neptune, spirituality and mysticism, cell salt is going to be dealing with silica. This supports skin, hair, and nails and connective tissues and health. The third eye is going to deal with the sacral. The third eye, the chakra is going to deal with the third eye and the sacral chakras, dreams and creativity, hair thinning, brittle nails, or lack of focus. All right. Also, silica-rich foods like cucumbers and oats. So crystal work with amethyst or lapis lazuli, it can help with this as well. So the north node in Pisces, south node in Virgo, cell salts, kali sulfate, right? So this is gonna support oxygen, cellular oxygenation, and also emotional balance. The crown chakra and the third eye chakra, once again, as you can see, it's a lot of upper chakras going on with this right now. It's a lot of root and crown trying to be married together. You really pay attention to what's going on. The lead is trying to be turned into gold. I told you Virgo is where you shift it out, right? If Google, I want y'all to go to Google right now and say, where is gold found in the body? I ain't going to say the answer. Whoever knows the answer, just come out and tell me. You can just come off your mic at any time I'm talking. Feel free to interrupt me. I want you to go to Google and I want you to find out where is gold found in the body. It's going to trip you out if you don't know the answer. You'll see what I mean.
Pituitary gland?
Huh?
Pituitary gland?
It says trace amounts in the human body include blood, brain, heart, joints, liver, and kidneys.
There we go. So that means if it's found in there in the brain, and we talked about secretion. So now I want you to get more specific with that question and say, where can gold be released in the body? Put that in there. So you got to get technical with Google. So I want you to see where it's formed in the brain and the glands, right? Now I want you to go to Google and say, where is it released in the body? Where is gold released in the body? Or released from the body? Let's say that. Put from the body, all right? And let me know what that comes up with. Now, you'll see a lot of this third eye activity, spiritual surrender and intuition, deficiencies of unwhelming escapism and spiritual disconnection. This can also using grounding herbs like ashwagandha. You see everybody been on ashwagandha. Everybody loves some ashwagandha right about now, right? So valerian root, that's a powerful one. Be very mindful of valerian root. It's a psychoactive drug, and it does give you a very narcotic effect. Valerian root is a narcotic. So if you have iron deficiencies or anything, be very mindful of valerian. It is a very powerful root for insomnia and also warding off bad spirits as well. So be very mindful of that valerian root. Be careful with that one, okay? It's a good herb to put your ass to sleep and ground you, but if you got any type of deficiencies, you want to do your research on that herb. Did anybody find out what gold comes out of the body?
Yes, I found it.
What you got?
Says the body releases gold through processes like sweating, shedding, skin cells, and hair growth. On average, a human body that's around 150 pounds contains 0.2 milligrams of gold, most of which is found in the bloodstream. Ultimately, this gold is naturally released through bodily processes like sweating, shedding skin, and hair growth.
There you go. And you see how we can have copper colored hair, while your hair can change colors. And if you change your blood, you literally change it. You can turn lead into gold. Okay. And one of the other places where you can find it, because if secreting sweat and all that, it can be found in your shit too. You ever heard the saying about shit not gold? Right? So you can literally create your body to a place to where it begins to emit gold. This is a real thing. So turning lead to gold is not just a spiritual thing, but you need Virgo to do that. I told you what Virgo is in control of. But if you eating foods that are full of processed like sugars and these sodas and boxed out, you know what I'm saying? How you think your body gonna produce gold with muck with bullshit that's keeping you heavy? So this is when we become overcalcified, the density of the body, too much protein, right? Everything becomes hardened. There's no flow of electricity. So appreciate that for y'all for looking it up. Now, also when you talking about functioning supports of the nervous system, mental clarity and calmness, solar plexus, and the root chakra structure and service. All right. So remember these chakras, you know, the word chakras means wheels. Something wants to move. All right. So the deficiencies can deal with overthinking, nervous exhaustion, or digestive issues. So digestive friendly foods like ginger and fennel. Fennel is a powerful one, man. It's a powerful herb. I love some fennel. Mindful practices detached from overcritical tendencies. A lot of times, just ignore the shit that your mind got you thinking. Just ignore that shit and redirecting the thoughts, because you can't replace a negative thought with a positive one. Meaning, if I tell you right now, stop thinking negative, your mind gonna start thinking even more negative. So you have to redirect your attention. Find something else to think about. Find something else to do. Okay. Find something safe to do besides playing in your head. Okay. All right. So the deficiencies in the remedy, this is where yoga, meditation, and all this shit comes into play. So the more spiritual practices is designed to put you in a more meditative state. This is to allow you to become more meditative, and to create separation between you, your thoughts, and your emotions. I tell people this all the time. It's easy for me to say it because even in saying it, your mind is saying how. No, I'm saying it's something you have to surrender to and just get into, embody it. Wake up when your body want to stay asleep, right? Do breath work when your body want to smoke. You see what I'm saying? Like, you got to start tricking this body. When you catch your body doing habitual shit that you used to, if you're not creating nothing new, that means you're going back into a habit. Creating something new keeps your body off track. Now, within the first parts of that, your body's gonna fight you, right? You're gonna have tension, you're gonna have soreness. You get what I'm saying? But that whole thing is gonna push you past the energetic expression, so you can transmute that energy and start moving towards more of an energetic expression of what you want the body and the mind to express. This is you taking control of this vehicle. Aquarius is all about taking control of the vessel, right? This is why leopards are ruled by Aquarius. Leopards think before they leap. Leopards are some of the most methodical hunters out there. And this is why you would also see a lot of times in the African doctors and witch doctors, they wear the skin of the leopard. They've mastered the technology. All right. So it's a lot of this stuff that shows up in symbolism. So just be mindful of your body and listen to what your body's telling you. I'm just giving you ways for you to learn how to govern your body and your nervous system. Okay. Now, these imbalances are what you got to pay attention to, and know that they're just more deeply rooted than just a peel, some type of surface fix. If you deal with the energy, you can reverse these type of ailments. All right, chamomile, lavender, passion flower, um, leopardite, blue lace agate, digestive issues, right? Dealing with the South Node and Virgo, constipation, bloating, or overly acidic herbs, being overly acidic, too much acid in the body. Now, women are supposed to be acidic in the womb area, all right? Now, too much acid in the body, because some of the foods that we might think that are alkaline actually turn into acid in your body. So this is why I just say eat for energy, because your body will let you know when something becomes acidic, because they're gonna let you know through bloating, through burping, through constipation, through gas. Okay, so this is what peppermints, licorice roots, all these type of things can help release bloating and gas, all that good stuff. All right. So citrine, all right, dealing with yellow calcite and yellow calcite, emotional, all right, dealing with emotional overwhelm in the North Node in Pisces. This can also deal with confusion, escapism, and emotional exhaustion. Holy basil, reishi mushrooms. This can also deal with amethyst and moonstone. Pay attention to your how you feel overwhelmed, being able to govern this nervous system. Holy basil is good for the gut. Most of this is gonna be gut. You calm the gut, you calm the nervous system. Everything starts in the gut. So the physical weaknesses will be Saturn and Mars are symptoms of muscle fatigue and joint pain. So whenever you got muscle fatigue and joint pain, your Saturn and your Mars is going through some shit. All right. This is gonna deal with your solar plexus and your root chakra. You could be dealing with issues of not cleaning up enough, not feeling the energy to clean up enough, feeling so tired and heavy. See, we'll be discussing a lot of this in Sedona too. So if you want to learn Reiki, if you want to get certified in being a Reiki practitioner, I've saved a life doing this energy work. I have a testimonial for it on my website. So I ain't just talking about this energy. Living it and talking about it are two different things. All right. So remember, if you want to tap in, you want to learn Reiki, you want to get certified, I'm certified in Reiki. And if you want to come get more of an energetic in-person experience, meet us in Sedona in March. All right. Now the herbs, also nettle and alfalfa. Whenever a horse is deficient, whenever a horse is losing weight or getting sick, ask anybody on the farm what they get at a horse. Okay. Alfalfa. Nettle is some powerful shit too as well, especially for women. Okay. Now also bloodstone and red jasper are some good crystals to use. You also see the root chakra going on here, dealing with the sacral chakra and the solar plexus, grounding practices, root vegetables, red crystals. All right, vegetables that are red, red beets, red bell peppers, red radishes. You get what I'm saying? Something with red in it. Okay. All right. Um, Sacral chakra, creative exercises, water, orange crystals, orange foods. All right, your squash, um, your zucchini. You know what I'm saying? Your oranges, your nectarines, your peaches. I mean your plums. All that good stuff. All right. So solar plexus, Jupiter, Virgo, North Node, confidence, building, affirmations, yellow citrine, yellow foods. All right. So yellow foods, of course, we talked about the squash, all that good stuff a while ago. So get into these yellow foods, get up, especially seasonal right now. A lot of these things are in season right now. Okay. So it's the reason why we're feeding these chakras during this time of the year. Green food, self-love practices, rose quartz. Of course, that's the kale, the spinach, the arugula, the cilantro, all that good stuff. All right. Dandelion greens, singing blue foods, dealing with the throat chakra, aquamarine, blueberries, right? There's ain't a lot of blue foods out there. So you can imagine what a blue food would do for you. And this is why blueberries are so powerful just within themselves, right? Blue food, blueberries, with raspberries, sometimes that purplish, bluish, anything on a deep purple level can help feed that too. So the third eye, of course, blueberries again. All right. And also with the crown, reflect on spiritual practices, clear quartz, and all that good stuff. Central nervous system balancing techniques. Here's some more things for you to help you out balancing your nervous system. You're gonna need it coming into this time. All right, grounding exercise, earthing, alternate nostril breathing, just breathing in through your nostril, holding one finger down on one side of your nostril, breathing in slow through one side of your nostril for about 2 minutes, then hold the other side down, breathing slow in and out of that nostril on the other side. Starting your day off with these things. Nostril breathing is direct path of breath to the brain. Okay. So journaling to process emotions, herbs for the nervous system, skull cap, valerian root, and lemon balm. Once again, make sure you study these herbs. Skull cap is a very powerful herb when it comes to narcotic effects as well. Okay, valerian root. These herbs here they can get you high. Is what I'm saying. So you want to be mindful with these herbs. Do your research on these herbs. And if you have some questions and you want to purchase the herbs, I do have them for purchase. You're gonna find them yourself, even if you get this in a tincture or whatever the case may be. If you have issues with your nervous system, if you have issues sleeping, if you're on any medications, please consult your physician or consult somebody who can help you understand what you're dealing with so you won't be combining medicines and they can also cause an adverse reaction. So do not take any of these herbs if you're already on medication without consulting someone first, please. Okay. So fluoride and amethyst and cellulite can help you out with that. Now here's just a breakdown of the wood snake year. It's kind of dealing with that energy of the nine. I was waiting to get into it. The beloved asked about it as well. So I just want to tap on some of these cycles when it deals with the wood snake year and what we're facing, because when you're dealing with the yin energy of the snake combined with the wood element, it brings flexibility and growth. So it's not just an average snake year. This is a wood snake year. So the yin energy of the snake combined with the wood element brings flexibility and growth and vitality, right? So these calculations, this happen about every 60 years. The determinant of the interaction of the 12 animals with the 5 elements. It's kind of what we deal with when we deal with Chinese astrology. So each combination lasts for about 1 year. The wood snake year occurred in 1965. So you can go back in 1965, look at some of the patterns that happened in 65 to what we're looking at now. This is how I love to look at these energies. Okay. Now, when you're dealing with Chinese metaphysics and wood represents growth and renewal and creativity, the resilience to similarly to how to grow trees and adapt. Remember, trees, the wood on a tree is not just wood, that's memory. Remember, you can tell how old the tree is by looking at the circles inside of it, right? You can tell how old a snake is by how its skin is shaped. So has a lot to do with the wood and the snake and the shedding of skin. And you can tell how old a snake is by how many times it shed its skin. Okay. So that's why the snake is associated with wisdom and intuition and also mastery. And you will see the snake on the headdress of the people in Egypt because it represented being able to rise the Kundalini energy. This can bring in a lot of Kundalini activations. So this can bring in a moving of the energy of the spine, which is called the Jed pillar. So the deep symbols of thinking and spiritual awakening and the numerology of the number nine. And the numerology year, this resonates with the things of completion, transformation, and spiritual evolution. The number nine is associated with universal love and enlightenment, wisdom, and humanitarianism. This marks the end of cycles and invites reflections of healing and preparation for new beginnings. In a wood snake year, the energy of the nine aligns perfectly with the transformative, intuitive qualities of the snake. The snake doesn't see, it listens. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is why in certain cultures they have shown that when you meditate, you know how you ever see in them cartoons and movies, they meditate, they out in the wilderness, and all of a sudden snakes start coming around. It's very symbolic that when you get into a meditative state, snakes are attracted to you. Snakes are attracted to a calm vibration. It's like being able to enchant the snake. All right. So can you enchant your snake? Can you enchant your kundalini? Right? Can you enchant the things that want to be awakened within you? So that's why these innovation and introspection, right, and some of the examples that happened during the Wood Snake year, right? U.S. entered a period of heightened involvement with the Vietnam War. Civil rights movement in the U.S. war was at its peak. Landmark events like Selma, Montgomery, and the marches. People been talking about marching. I heard some marching talk today about DEI. Y'all think it's a game. Think the energy ain't finna repeat themselves. History repeats itself. History repeats itself. So just be mindful of some of these repeats disguised as something different. Everything that he's doing, it's a repeat disguised as something different. Just pay attention, y'all. All right. So space exploration advanced to the launch of NASA's Marine 4, right? This is also where we sent the first images of Mars. Now we got Elon Musk talking about going to Mars. Man, I'm telling y'all, man, do not play with these. This is not a coincidence. Nothing in this life is a coincidence at all. Nothing. The rise of counter-cultural movements advocated for peace, equality, and spiritual awakening, right? So this increased interest in Eastern philosophy practices and like meditation and yoga up in 2025, the Wood Snake year, right? So shifts in global governance. This kind of some prediction I want to add. All right. So shifts in governance and social systems, emphasizing adaptability and transformation, environmental innovations aligning with the wood snake's element connection to nature. We're going to be outside. The healers, the ones who embrace their snake energy, the ones who've enchanted the kundalini, the ones who've been awakened within that element, yeah, we're gonna be outside, okay? The collective shift towards spiritual awakening, somebody got to pioneer it. Somebody got to go out here and be outside and show people what it looks like to be outside and be you, and still be out here in this world and be not be of it, and be able to dance in the rain and not get wet. You understand? Like somebody got to show these people what it like to trust and surrender. I know I'm showing my children what it look like. I know you should be showing your children what it look like. That in turn is going to make them live in that expression in this world, and we can leave this world a better place just by doing that simply. So emotional intelligence and balance is key. A surge in creative expression and metaphysical inspiration. Metaphysical astrological meaning of the wood snake year. Astrological influence, the snake's intuitive and transformative qualities align with the energies of Pluto and Aquarius, emphasizing societal transformation and innovation. The wood element resonates with Jupiter's expansive energy promoting growth and progress. North Node in the moon, right? The nodes of the moon. With the North Node in Pisces and the South Node in Virgo during the 2025 Wood Snake, emphasizes things of spiritual evolution and surrender and service. Spiritual meaning encourages alignment with one's inner wisdom and intuition, promotes shedding old patterns and embracing transformation, amplifies connection to nature and creative energy. Characteristics, strengths, and challenges for the wood snake year would be deeply intuitive and perceptive energy. So you're working on your power, perception, and receptivity. Emphasize on transformation, personal growth, and inner healing. Of course, we all know we're focusing on that. Balances mystery and clarity, asking us to explore the unseen, marrying confidence with clarity. All right. Wisdom and the ability to navigate complexity with ease, being able to trust yourself always and always. Strong creativity and innovation, being able to know that every problem is a possibility. Every situation is a place for you to be a walking goddamn solution. If you think life ain't got enough problems for you to be innovative, keep living. Okay. So emotional and spiritual resilience, all right, is also when it's going to build. You have to have a spiritual foundation for that to happen. So being rooted in something that's going to keep you and carry you through these times, to be planted like the tree by troubled waters, baby. All right. So overthinking and becoming too secretive, all right, battling with that shit, forced isolation is what that is. Struggling with letting go of the past, South Node and Virgo energy, fear of vulnerability and change. How to utilize the energy of the wood snake year, right? To embrace intuition, develop practices such as meditation, dream journaling, or tarot, or enhance your intuitive abilities. Let go of the past. Work with the South Node and Virgo energy to release perfectionism, self-criticism, and unhealthy routines. Connect with nature. Spend time in green spaces to harness the nurturing energy of the wood element. Creative transformation. Use the snake's energy to shed outdated beliefs and habits, focusing on old personal and spiritual growth. Chakras and energy balancing. Chakras connect to the wood snake year. Heart chakra resonates with the wood element, promoting growth and healing. The third eye amplifies intuition and spiritual insight. Balancing practice. So you can see what we got: the third eye and the heart. I like to say we're going into the upper room, baby. You going into the upper room, you going into the mansion where you dwell, where Jesus said, only you can sit on the throne. See, when Jesus said, only you can go to the Father, right? Because only you can sit on the throne, only you can go through the matters of your heart. Only ye shall do greater works than me, right? So ye are gods, okay? So when you're dealing with practicing visualization and exercising to the opening of the third eye, right? Potential ailments, emotional stagnation, or overanalyzing, right? So physical tension in the nervous system, digestive issues, Virgo's influences, incorporated herbs like dandelion or green tea for detoxification, practicing breath work or releasing emotional tension. So I'm really understanding that snake sure. I just wanted to give a little bit of insight into that because we are dealing with these energies right now. I want to give a glimpse onto the month of February as well, just to let you all know how we all got into this February energy, while we deal with this energy the way we do. Okay. So its roots go back to Roman times, when created and intertwined with the rituals of purification and preparation for the coming spring. You know, it's very indicative of what February brings us with Aquarian and also Piscean energy. So here you'll see who created February, where it came from. All right. So Numa Polympius, it talks about a lot. This Numa, he was also an astrologer. All right. So I didn't want to go too deep into it, but I just wanted to give you all some of the foundational things of how we got to the month of February, why this is always the alignment with the lunar year. They had to bring this in. This is why the Chinese New Year starts basically with February. You get what I mean? So this the meaning of February comes from the Latin word Februa, meaning purification. This relates to the Februa festival at the time of the ritual cleansing and the preparation for the new agricultural cycle. So you see that it's renewal and it symbolizes clearing out old to make way for the new. Watch and see what they do during February. I'm just saying. right? So aligning with the position at the tail end of the winter in the northern hemisphere. So it relates to the rest of the year. Now, February serves as a transitional month, bridging the introspection of winter, Capricorn, Aquarius energy into the budding renewal of spring, Pisces, Aries energy. Its focus on purification and preparation lines is spiritually with the idea of endings, release, and beginnings and renewal. So the cycles of the sun and moon, February lies in the heart of the winter in the northern hemisphere. The sun moves through Aquarius and enters Pisces, representing a shift from intellectual detachment and emotional depth. This is what we deal when we get out of the head and into the body with Pisces. All right. So the lunar significance, because February often contains the snow moon. We'll be witnessing this coming up. This is because heavy snowfalls happen during this time. That's why we have a snow moon in February. All right. So this also spiritually symbolizes clearing of obstacles, breaking and bringing inner peace. Because what happens when the earth is covered with snow? When the snow covers the earth and it blankets it in that beautiful snow and it wraps the ground in its coldness and it preserves it and it frees it only for things to become anew. So these are natural cycles that we must experience, and the same thing happens with your body as we go through these cycles. So February lacks a full moon, right? Occasionally. Now think about this. I want you to really pay attention to this. Now, a phenomenon called a black moon due to its short length. So this gonna be due to a seasonal role that February marks this midpoint between the winter solstice, the Yule, and the spring equinox, the Ostra. Now, see, this is the Norse mythology type of shit with the Yule and all this shit. So this period is celebrated as a symbolic of the Celtic tradition around February 1st and the 2nd, honors the stirring of the life beneath the earth. So this is what happens when you coat the earth with coldness. Life beneath the earth begins to move. So the days notably grow longer, signaling hope, renewal, and the promise of spring. All right. So this is why you'll see at the influences of February and kind of what you'll be going through. All right, kind of what you're experiencing with these humanitarian intellectual detachment, Saturn traditional, Uranus, Pisces energy, spiritual intuition, compassion, modern, Jupiter, the traditional. February out contains significant planetary trans that reflects these themes of transition and cleansing and preparation. For example, Mercury may enter a or exit a retrograde, emphasizing reflection and recalibration. Every February, this happens with Mercury. These are natural cycles. Mercury either enters or comes out of a retrograde in February. We're about to come out of one. Okay. So February aligns with the emotional purification and a reevaluation of relationship. That's why we deal with Valentine's Day and all this shit, the Roman deities that bring this the god of purification, and it's tied to this month name as rituals of Februus and Juno, which deals with June. All right, has a lot to do with the goddess of purification and the passion that's celebrated in mid-February. Festival such as Lucretia, and you'll see this, right? The persecutor of Valentine, the precursor to Valentine's Day. I know a lot of people. I know some people don't went to these festivals as well. So the Celtic deities, Bridget honor during an embolic time. She is the goddess of healing and poetry, fertility and earth, right? So Bridget's presence signifies the awakening of life and the spark of inspiration. The Greek deities, Hestia, right? Hestia. So this the goddess of the earth and the home. This is like Gaia, all right, symbolizing warmth, the purification, and preparation for renewal. Poseidon, February tradition into Poseidon, Pisces, Poseidon energy reflects on the depths of the emotion and the unconscious mind. So Anubis is connected to this. This the dial. Remember Anubis, Anpu, connected to the purification of the soul, the transition between realms, resonating with February's themes of clearing the old. Hathor can be connected to this energy, of course. Love and beauty, that's February. That's Venetian energy. All right. You're going to deal with some spiritual purification. February reflects on a cycle of clearing and renewing, just as the earth begins to thaw and the seeds prepare to sprout. Humanity is called to cleanse itself physically and emotionally and spiritually. Preparation for growth. Animals start breeding right now. Early blooms like snowdrops and, you know, crowcuses and all this symbolizes resilience and hopes, right? So you'll begin to see a lot of these different things sprouting in the month of February. I just wanted you to really kind of understand how this month holds a significance and how they planned it this way when they created the calendar. It's just, shit, we just honor somebody else's construct of time, but they have to honor universal time. So either way it go, they honor in universal time. Ash Wednesday, Lent, Christianity, often occurring in February. These observances focusing on the repentance and the purification and the preparation for spiritual renewal. All right. So that's why in this year, February 2025, astrological and spiritual energies, particularly potent due to this following alignments: Neptune and Pisces, Virgo, amplified things of spiritual surrender and practical purification, Pluto and Aquarius, revolutionary changes and collective transformation to begin to unfold. Neptune and Pisces, deep emotional healing and heightened intuition. February calls humanity to cleanse itself, aligning with nature's cycles and prepare for the collective spiritual awakening and renewal. This is a time for deep introspection, releasing outdated beliefs and planting seeds for the future. Now, plant your seeds now. That's basically what I'm telling you. Use this time to plant your seeds. So here's some journal prompts to help you out plant your seeds, to help you out understand how to pull from these energies. These journal prompts are for you. Once again, if you want to purchase the book, make sure you go ahead and scroll up to the bottom of that, and you can be able to tap into the power of these journal prompts and all that good stuff. Being able to look and see what you can kind of pull from these journal prompts, as you can see, identifying with trauma and stagnant energy, what past experiences are still holding power over you. How do they make you feel when you think about them? Just being honest with yourself, right? How has this trauma impacted your sense of self-worth and confidence? So here's some things that make you pull some intimate things, some intimate questions. Then I have some affirmations, some chakra grounding techniques, some things that'll help you ground. All right. So of course I couldn't pull all this out of you without showing you how to pour back into you. Okay. So once again, you can go over these, and please, if you want to purchase the booklet, make sure you do. And also, here is a new moon ritual that you can tap into. All right, you can use this over the next 3 days. The new moon and the full moon energy. We'll be going into the full moon in Leo coming up in here next. All right, and of course, I have a workshop for that one as well. And if you are interested, once again, in tapping in, please make sure you do. So, with that being said, I have reached the end, but now I will answer any questions for anybody else who wants to ask any questions about anything.
Okay, I want to jump in since this is Myra.
Peace, beloved.
Good evening, and this was beautiful. I love all your workshops, and I did purchase the book. But I have a question. When you're speaking about in Venus in particular, I wrote down watermelon cucumber for this time of season, at least in the Midwest. Would it still be something that I would use versus something that was more aligned with the season, like root, like cucumbers and watermelon are kind of grown right now. So would you replace that with something that, or does it really matter?
And where you at?
In Chicago.
Ah, okay, yeah. So, see,
I mean,
let me see here in Chicago. Yeah,
yeah.
no, you good because see now I got to think about Chicago and the area, what you're indigenous to. This gonna be a lot of peas and shit. See, winter squash. Don't check out winter squash up there.
But that
All
was
right,
saying,
winter
as soon
squash,
as you
Brussels
said,
sprouts. Okay,
yes,
pearls.
yes,
All right, apples.
right.
So pumpkin seeds, pumpkin seeds. All right, beets, cabbage.
But you were looking at the watermelon and the cucumber, I'm guessing for the salts that were in it or
Oh yes.
whatever. So what would I replace
Okay,
those
for that.
with?
Okay, for the pearls will help out for that. Cause base now, do you have? I know. Damn. So, what about celery? Is that
Yeah. Okay.
okay? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and let me see here. Cucumber. Let me see here. Cucumber. What else can you replace cucumber with? I'm just trying to think of something that's rich in water that you can do up there, up north in that area.
Well,
Zucchini. Do you
celery
got access to
work.
zucchini?
Yes, I
All
could find.
right. Peaches.
No.
Asparagus.
Yes.
Get some asparagus. All right. Even kale, rainbow kale, right? That
Okay.
or that dino kale.
Dino. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Even with plums, summer squash, right? Winter squash, those are good. I would definitely say grapefruits if you like grapefruits.
Okay,
And limes and lemons.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just trying to go with the seasonal things and placement of things that maybe be more summer oriented. So
Yes.
thank you.
Good shit. Thank you for the question. Anybody else got any questions? Any realizations? Anything y'all want to know about anything I said? I know I said a lot. I know that booklet, it was kind of packed, but I really wanted to make sure that y'all walk away with a more comprehensive understanding of what these planets are influencing on you and your life. All right. So anybody got any questions or
I re-
anything else? Oh,
it's me again.
okay,
So I
talk to
was
me, my
thinking
nigga.
that while you were speaking about most of it, a lot of this will take us through the year, right? Other than adjusting the planets, perhaps. Am I correct in
Yes.
that thought? Oh,
Now, most definitely, you already know it's gonna take us through the year because we're coming into an energy of reflection, right? So what we do right now is going to manifest what in the summer and in the spring or this fall. See, if we look at it as if we're planting right now, all right, and we understand that we're preparing for something new. This ain't just about right now. What you do right now is going to prep you for coming into what? Next Pisces season, Taurus season, right? The season that are coming up now. So prep your body now for the things that are going on in your life. Look at your birth chart. See what's transiting. Are you a Taurus? Are you a Aries? Are you a Scorpio? Right? So all these different things could be saying, where am I in my life? What is it I need to be focused on based off of this information that I just heard? What do I need to pay more attention to? All right. So thank you for that question, my Neil. Anybody else got any questions? No dumb question. Now I want y'all to really, if it's something that you did not understand or something that I said, you like, I don't know what the hell that meant when he said that. Please use this time to ask your questions now. And
I
once
have a
again,
question.
uh-huh.
Can you speak more to what you said about July 22nd? Can you give a little bit more on that?
On July 22nd.
Yes.
Well, on that date, I said that because I've been having I had a dream actually about that date, and I've been kind of picking and prying, you know, trying to divine and see what it means besides just so that date has been popping up, and I can't get away from the fact that something significant is going to happen during that time. And especially me knowing that America is in a Pluto return during that month is going to be America's birthday with the 4th of July. We're going to be witnessing a lot of transits when it comes to July is going to open up a lot of things that what we're dealing with now. All right. So right now, I'm really mindful of what I say behind that because I really want to be very accurate when I speak on that date. But I really feel like it's going to be a shift in humanity, and it's going to be something around agriculture. It's going to be something around how we live every day, and it's going to shake a lot of people up. I don't know for sure exactly how it's gonna play out, what it's gonna be, but it's just a strong feeling that around that time, on that day, something significant is going to happen for the United States of America.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else got any questions before I let y'all get up out of here? And y'all want to do that ritual? If you got the booklet, I also put my cash app in the chat. If anybody is wanting to donate, or I appreciate the time. I appreciate y'all energy. I appreciate you all. And once again, this video will be available on YouTube, and also the people who did join will get the replay as well. So if there's not any more questions, I would gladly let you all go. And please endeavor some of these practices. And if you are interested in getting a reading or anything like that, make sure you hit me up. Let me know you were here, and I would gladly give you a discount for you being present because y'all sat here for some hours. All right. And this time that we're in, it's very hard to get people to be attentive. We're in a meme society. They cutting shit down to reels in 30 seconds. And you know what I'm saying? So to hold somebody's attention for 2.5, 3 hours, I appreciate y'all. Like for real, for real. I greatly do. Gratitude to you all, because I'm telling you, I love to make sure that people walk away with a better understanding of who you are. So hopefully you will be able to get this, all right, and be able to understand more about yourself and all that good stuff as well. All right. Okay. So
Since that you
gratitude.
always,
Mhm. Who was that?
like I said, you always deliver more than
Mhm.
enough, and I just gratitude to you and your thoroughness and all that you provide in these workshops. I couldn't possibly go to sleep because I would hate to miss anything. So I just want you to know I appreciate it so much every time.
And you know, I appreciate you, my dear. You know, I love you to life, and I always appreciate your support. And I appreciate all you who always show up and support me. I greatly do. And I think I might use this format a lot more going forward with my workshops, you know, just to make the purchase of the book available. That way it'll kind of be an even exchange on everybody's behalf. And that way everybody can get privy to the information for free. And if you want to purchase the book or not, it's just all on you. All right. So I kind of will be using this format moving forward to make sure that more people are available to get inside these Zooms and all that type of stuff. Because I know it's a beautiful time for us to kind of be aligned and knowing where we all are, not only individually, but collectively. That is one of the major things of Aquarius. So I'm not in this alone. You know, I wouldn't be anything without y'all. If y'all didn't benefit from this, I wouldn't do it. So the fact that y'all are benefiting from it, the fact that people are saying that they have got something from it, it means the world to me. All right. So once again, gratitude to you all. I appreciate you all for your time, your energy, your presence, your essence. It is not, I will tell you, it is highly appreciated. It is not overlooked and it is not undervalued. Okay. So if anybody does have any more questions, please don't hesitate to hit me up or ask the questions now. Or if not, I'll let you all go. All right, y'all. I appreciate you all for your time, your energy, and see you all for the full moon. Full moon, Leo, we coming back. We'll be back, and we're gonna see how you kind of have dealt with this energy, what you took from it, right? What is the new moon? So plant your seeds, write some stuff down, make it plain. Know this is a beautiful time for this whole year to make your fantasies a reality. So peace and love, beautiful souls. Love you all to life, highest vibrations. Namaste.